Friday night football at Bloomington Stadium, and it's the Battle of Bloomington. It's September 12th. It's Jefferson and it's Kennedy, only on BEC-TV as Week 3 of the season kicks off. Hello again, everybody. I'm Josh Powers, joined by my broadcast partner, Jason Springer. And Jason, it's a good thing we haven't needed to wait that long in this season to get here. It's only Week 3, but it is Jefferson and Kennedy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the game that everybody circles on their calendar all year long, and it sounds cliche, but it's really true. We hear it from these players, we hear it from the coaches, we hear it from people around the city. I was having a Subway before the game, and people were excited. I mean, it's just what happens in this city. It's a lot of fun to be here.
And you get the shameless plug-in for Subway, too, which was on our checklist. So,
sorry about that.
But anyway, so we got Jefferson and Kennedy tonight, and we'll get into the elements a lot more. And for more on that, we're going to toss it down to Paul Fournier on the sidelines. Paul?
Thanks, guys. Down here on the field, it's a pretty cool night here. It's 52 degrees, something the kids haven't been used to yet this year. It's been pretty warm the first two games. The field is also pretty hard, so that might cause some issues for fumbles and stuff like that. Tonight is something that is a special night for everybody here at Kennedy. It's the Hall of Fame night. They'll be inducting 4 new members into the Hall of Fame at halftime. 2 of them who are here and 2 of them who cannot be here, but they will be inducting those all into the game. And also tonight they're doing something called the Wounded Warrior Project. Jefferson started this back in 2010. They've raised almost over $13,000 doing this. They call the thing Pass the Helmet. So at halftime, or the end of the first quarter, they're going to pass the helmet around the crowd, raising money for the Wounded Warrior Project, which is a project that basically gets money to the people who come back from overseas and have some sort of issue that they can't live normally. And that's about it. Back up to you guys.
We'll be hearing more from you and also from our other sideline reporter, Mark Holgren, as the broadcast rolls along. And just one other housekeeping item tonight. Kennedy is the home team tonight, so you will see Jefferson fans on the away side as you watch the game. Well, let's talk about the top 10 as we reach Week 3 of the season. We'll put up the top 10, and then we'll talk more about tonight's game. But there's the top 10 there. Eden Prairie still number 1, Jason, but was not easy for them last week.
Nearly got beaten by Eastview. That would have sent some shockwaves around the metropolitan area. Rosemont Lakeville North out of the South Suburban Conference really looking good, and Rosemont, they played in the Prep Bowl last year, and they really want a return trip. They are looking really good. East Ridge taking out Cretin Durham Hall last week. That was a big one. They definitely earned their spot at number 4. Maple Grove has to go to Wayzata tonight. That'll test them as they look to stay in the top 5. Tino Grace has had a couple close ones, but some good wins. Mounds View has Cretin tonight, so that's a big one over in the Suburban East. Then, of course, you've got Prior Lake, another South Suburban team really playing well. St. Michael, Albertville, and Hutchinson rounding out the top 10 in the Metro, but it's a really obvious. It's three South Suburban teams in there, a couple from the Lake and the Northwest Suburban. Some really competitive, really balanced top teams this year. I don't even think Eden Prairie is necessarily untouchable.
Let's take a look at what happened in the Metro West last week. First on BEC-TV, we saw an impressive Cooper team, and Jason, they not only impressed us, they're impressing some voters.
9 votes in the Class 5A polls this week. That ranks them number 12 in the state, and they have to go to Benilde. We'll talk more about that tonight, but what a win for Cooper, and starting to get that respect we talked about. Jefferson going to 2-0 with a win at Coon Rapids last week. That's solid for them. Chanhassen getting a win in that column over Richfield. St. Louis Park edging out Fridley. They get Richfield tonight. And, of course, Benilde beating Chaska. Chaska a little down this year. They graduated a lot of seniors. They had a really good year last year, but they're off to a little bit of a rougher start this year.
Yeah, that was the game of the week last week, 27-26. So let's take a look at the standings after 2 weeks. And it's Jefferson on top at 2-0 overall, 1-0 in the conference, along with Chanhassen and Cooper and Benilde. And 2 of those teams obviously play tonight. And then the bottom half with Chaska, Kennedy, Richfield, and St. Louis Park all at 0-1. So that transitions us to the games this week. Obviously, some big matchups now starting to unfold. Jefferson and Kennedy obviously here, but the other big one, Cooper and Benilde.
Yeah, really, that game should, in the way the standings are shaping up, it could go a long way toward deciding who ends up on top in the Metro West this year. And if Cooper can win that one on the road, you really like their chances. Chaska at Chanhassen turning into a nice little rivalry game over there in the southwest suburbs. And you really like Chanhassen's odds there to kind of come out. Richfield at St. Louis Park, one of those two teams will get their first Metro West win as well. So you got to like their odds there.
Yeah, almost a must-win for Chaska. Hate to say it this early in the season, but it really is this week at Chan. So let's talk more about tonight, Jason. Obviously, two Bloomington teams here, and our key matchup tonight are the offensive lines versus the defensive lines. The running game is going to be so critical this evening.
We always see these Battle of Bloomington games coming down to who dominates the line of scrimmage, and no surprise that should be a big part of tonight's game as well, especially with the speed in the backfield that both teams have.
We're going to talk about two players from each team. First for Jefferson.
Win against Coon Rapids. Long bus ride there. Now you get the short bus ride from Jefferson. How do you try to keep your kids' emotions down during that short bus ride compared to the long one from last week?
Well, you know what? Our team's been pretty focused all week long. They know what this is about, and we've talked about it. It's the Kennedy game, and they know that, but we have bigger goals. Kennedy, you know, as we look at it, is one of those opponents that's in our way of obtaining a Metro West championship. And they know that. They've been focused all week. I am proud of the way they've handled themselves all week, and it'll be a fun night. Kennedy's a good team.
All right, now you've had a lot of penalties and small mistakes throughout the first 2 weeks. Can I talk about how you clean those up for this one game?
You know, we just focused on it. You know, there's a couple little things that are out of your control, but we've, you know, talked to kids, keep your head, don't do anything silly, just play as hard as you can. And I'd rather have an aggressive mistake than kind of a passive, lazy mistake.
All right, now it's the Kennedy game, so a lot of times coaches pull things out of their back pockets. Is there going to be anything from Jefferson you're willing to tell us?
Have a good night, Paul.
All right, Coach, good luck. Back up to you guys.
Paul, we're going to send it down to the national anthem. Jason and I will be back for kickoff. Jefferson and Kennedy next on BEC-TV.
Stationed at the Bloomington Armory, represented on the field is Sergeant First Class Howard, Sergeant Nelson, Private Kyle O'Harris, and Private Zach Lorton. Zach and Kyle are both Jefferson High School students. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kennedy High School Band under the direction of Mr. John Engebretson. Gentlemen, please remove your headwear. And again, a thank you to our Red Bulls for their service to our country. the Jefferson Jaguars are going to introduce their offensive unit. We begin with senior wide receiver number 4, Eric Rasmussen. Senior wide receiver number 9, Michael DiBianchi. Senior wide receiver number 11, Dijon Chaparro. Junior running back number 14, John Carlson. Senior running back number 27, Colton Miles. Senior quarterback number 15, Zachary Euban. Senior offensive lineman number 55, Jack Lowry. Senior offensive lineman number 64, Walter Anderson. Senior offensive lineman number 69, Nick Williams. Sophomore offensive lineman number 70, Christian Dubik. And senior offensive lineman number 74, Bradley Mold. The head coach for the Jefferson Jaguars is Tim Carlson. And now, the Kennedy Eagles will be introducing the top sellers of their gold card sale. We begin with number 1, DePriest Eisenberg. Number 5, Scotty Cameron. Number 9, Nick Badwa. Number 10, Juan Bowers. Number 18, Jake Ekholm. Number 24, Alshon Robbs. Number 29, Nate Fossine. Number 40, Joey Tim. Number 50, Adam Hayter. Number 54, Sam Chesky. Number 77, Noah Brown. Number 81, Grant Johnson. And number 85, Dijon Smith. The head coach of the Kennedy Eagles, Mr. John Anderson. Our officials.
All right, so we are ready for the Battle of Bloomington. Both teams have been introduced, and we're back with you here live on BEC-TV. Josh Powers, Jason Springer, Mark Holgren, our entire crew, Paul Fournier, out on a beautiful Friday night, a little chill in the air. We're talking about some players to watch for each team, Jason. For Jefferson, starts in the middle on that defense with the linebacker, and then, of course, a good offensive lineman that we met on Tuesday on Inside Jefferson Football.
Indeed, you have Noah Ciro, we have Kevin Lorton for Jefferson will feature tonight, and those two guys really leading this team. Ciro, of course, in the offensive line, a line that's been putting up some decent stats and leading this team. Of course, the strength of the Jefferson Jaguars for many years has been the linebacking core on defense, so we're going to see that probably play into tonight's game as well.
Lorton's also pitched in on the offensive side with a touchdown earlier this year. And then for Kennedy, met one of their linebackers on Inside Kennedy Football, Dante Davis-Barber, and then the Eagles need to get Nate Eckerson more involved.
Indeed, Davis-Barber really helps lead that way physically and really intensely for this Kennedy team. And Eckerson, one catch or one touch in 2 games? They definitely, on the offensive side of the football, want to get him many more touches, get him much more into this offense.
We've got a key for each team. For Kennedy, it's first down play. Or for Jefferson, it's first down play. And for Kennedy, it's turnovers. They have to avoid the mistakes tonight. Jefferson will receive. The Battle of Bloomington is underway. And the kick will be taken by the Jaguars at just outside the 10-yard line in an alleyway up the middle, and a good return for Jefferson. Nate Buswell out to close to the 40-yard line. We'll see him back there on special teams, as well as Neil Walsh of the Jaguars, and Jefferson good field position for their quarterback, Zach Euban. Big road win last week. He up-engineered it through a 40-yard touchdown to Eric Rasmussen, and this offense has made key plays at key times.
Indeed, when you go off to a 2-0 start, they've got 2 decent wins under their belt. This is the kind of stuff you got to get done.
And we will certainly see a heavy dose tonight of Colton Miles, number 27. He's the running back. To the right of Euban with 3 wide receivers. And Neil Walsh in motion, in the diminutive wide receiver with a lot of speed. Down the sidelines. And out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 36 yards on the first play.
those offensive linemen for Jefferson in the open, Josh. Right there, you saw them pave a way around the right side. Long, long way down the field before he was even touched.
Great first play for the Jaguars, utilizing the speed. I'm sure they noted that from last week's game film when Cooper used a whole bunch of speed to get out wide against Kennedy. So from the 25-yard line, Euban now under center with Lorton as the fullback. The first carry for Miles. He gets around the corner, and Colton Miles will go untouched. Touchdown, Jefferson.
2 plays, Josh. They went the whole way, and he was untouched getting in there. Just enough blocking on the end to spring him. But you said it just a couple seconds ago. 2 plays, both of them sweep plays outside, daring the Kennedy Eagles to stop them with speed, and they were unable to do it.
Just got past the grasp of 85 DeJuan Smith, and Colton Miles was gone. And the extra point for the Jaguars, Ryan Murray. It's would have been good, but we have a whistle before the snap and an offsides on Kennedy. They could attempt it 2 now that they're halfway closer, but I think they're going to leave Murray out there.
One of the keys to our game was not quick starts, but I don't know if you're a Jefferson fan, I don't know how you can get off to a better start than a touchdown in the first 25 seconds of the game.
Well, their key is first down, Jason, and I think Coach Carlson would take both of those first down plays on that drive.
Well, yes, I think you would.
Ending up 61 yards and a touchdown to open the Battle of Bloomington. And Murray this time, the extra point will count, and it is good. 7-0 Jefferson, Jason. We've only played 25 seconds, but the Jaguars strike quickly, and they have not been a very explosive or quick striking team so far this year, and that has to make Coach Carlson happy to get some explosive plays.
Yeah, you're on your home field. The Battle of Bloomington, they just dared Kennedy to track them down with their speed, and credit the Jaguars. They're up 7-0 early, and now it's Kennedy's turn. Last week we saw them get behind early, and we saw them sputter on offense a little bit, and obviously quickly in a position here where they need to match Jefferson.
But they've got some dangerous return men back there, Jason. Eckerson and Eisenberg. With number 1, DePriest back there spearheading this return, and he's already cheating up to the 10-yard line. It will be Murray to kick. Just a junior for Jefferson. And this is a shorter kickoff, but it will go to Eckerson at the 21-yard line. Good coverage, though, by the Jaguars. Eckerson may have fumbled it at the end of the play, but I think he dove on it, and it is Kennedy football. So a good strategy there, Jason, from Kennedy. They kick it high and short. Eisenberg doesn't get his hands on it. By the time Eckerson does, there's a couple guys right near him. He doesn't get a chance really to get started.
Yeah, really, actually where they spot the ball, really only a couple-yard run back. So, yeah, good special teams play by the Jaguars.
So the Kennedy offense, junior quarterback Matt Fine, and the bevy of wide receivers, 5 of them on Kennedy's first play. And Fine will try a quarterback design run, and that will go nowhere. Kevin Lorton in on the stop, as was Jesse Brandon on the defensive line for Jefferson.
We saw this a lot last week, Josh. Really, the Eagles going with a lot of wide receiver sets, 4 and 5 wides most of the game, trying to spread the defense out and then trying to use the speed in the backfield to go right up the middle. Not the result the Eagles wanted on the first play.
Wide receivers for Kennedy tonight will include DePriest Eisenberg, Nate Eckerson, Sean Van Sloan, DeJuan Smith, Josh Bryant. Here's a running play up the middle for their featured back, Max Simmons, and tough sledding, maybe a yard for Kennedy. It'll set up 3rd and long.
Another running play, gain of 2, but another 3rd and long situation. We saw this situation, unfortunately, for Kennedy all last week. They really weren't able to put themselves in good down and distance situations, move the chains, and already a lot of stress on the offense on the first series.
And Kennedy hasn't had a lot in the vertical passing game so far this season, but I know they'd like to change that here. Maybe on 3rd and 10 with Eisenberg in motion. They want the screen to Simmons. Nice block on the edge. And Max Simmons down the sideline into Jefferson territory to the 47-yard line. It is a gain of 26 yards on 3rd and long. And what a block there from Kennedy. Brian DuBose, 61, got out there and sealed the edge.
Really, really nice play from Kennedy. I like what I saw there. It's a really well blocked play. DuBose really did a good job. And if you're Kennedy on the sideline, you really like that shot that running back got in on that Jaguar defender as he went out of bounds.
Yeah, there was no going out of bounds for Max Simmons. That is the Battle of Bloomington right there. Knocked down on that pass, Teddy Kalina. Big 33, Jason. He's fast. He takes up a lot of space. He's everything you want in a Metro West linebacker.
6'3", 235. I mean, linebackers in the Jaguar uniforms are usually pretty big and pretty tough, and here they are again.
We'll see one of Kennedy's linebackers, DeAndre Brown. He's no slouch either. 6'2", 230, and he's got some speed. 2nd and 10 now for Kennedy. In Jefferson territory on their opening drive. Here come the Jaguar blitz. Fade around for Bryant, and it's just a step too far. Good recognition by the quarterback find there. Got the one-on-one matchup, but it just floated too far.
And last week we saw big 88 Joshua Bryant go up and pull one down in double coverage for about 45 yards, and that one just thrown a little too far. Another 3rd and long situation here. Could be 4-down territory, depending on what happens on this play.
Yeah, if you can pick up a chunk of it here, you maybe don't need all of it. If you can get 5 or 6, it might compel John Anderson to go for it on 4th. Empty backfield again for Fine. They blitz again. They're going to try the fade again, and Bryant, with contact, was out of bounds, no flag, and it'll be 4th down. And the coaching staff for Kennedy not happy over there.
Yeah, the ball was way overthrown. They may very well have ruled uncatchable, but definitely looked like a lot of bumping coverage within the first 5-10 yards. But nonetheless, no call, no harm, no foul, they say.
DePriest Eisenberg back to punt, so you know that the fake is always going to be an option. Here on 4th and 10, low snap. He picks it up and he'll get rid of it. And nobody back there for Jefferson. They were respecting that fake. And the punt down inside the 20-yard line. So the Jaguar defense holds. 9:50 left in the opening quarter, Jason, and the Jaguars get the football back.
Yeah, a little miscommunication from the Eagles on offense, perhaps, of the passing game, but I think I liked what I saw there. They hit one big play. They took some shots down the field, trying to loosen up that Jaguar defense, and that could pay dividends down the road with that running game and all the speed they have with their weapons in the backfield.
And I think Fine showing some maturity there. Seeing that blitz, he immediately looked out wide to where the blitz was coming from, saw that one-on-one matchup a couple different times and tried to take advantage of it. Now they just need to execute. Jefferson has executed so far. They've run 2 plays and have a touchdown. Here's play 3. A fake to Miles. Euban on the rollout, wide open out of the backfield. Walsh made a man miss at the 30. Neil Walsh down the sidelines. Into Kennedy territory to the 35. Check that, not Neil Walsh. It's not 21, it's 11. Gabriel Sinner. And Sinner will take it all the way into Kennedy territory.
41-yard pass and catch, and again, out wide, Josh. These guys really, the Jaguars, seeing all that game film on Kennedy, they decided to get the ball out wide, use those wide receivers to block, and dare Kennedy to shed blocks and make tackles.
So big catch there for Gabriel Sinner for 41 yards. And back into Eagle territory at the 40. Back to Colton Miles. Room up the middle for Miles, and he's inside the 30 to the 26. 14 more for Colton Miles. And the Jaguars, that's been their least effective play so far, that 14-yard carry.
These guys are rolling
They've
right
been
now.
hot on offense early.
Doing anything they want. The first time they've gone up the middle between the tackles on a play tonight, and again, the offensive line did the job.
Rasmussen and Sinner wide this side for the Jaguars on a 1st and 10 from the 26. Long count from Euban. They want the bubble screen out to Sinner. Almost made a man miss. Good tackle on the edge by Peyton Morales, but Sinner has another first down as he's inside the 15-yard line, or right at the 15. 11 more yards on that play. Sinner now 2 catches for 52 yards here in the opening quarter. Check that for Jefferson. That's not Sinner, it's Chevrolet for the Jaguars, the 6'4" wide receiver. So my apologies. So Chevrolet with the 2 catches. And here's Euban on the fake to Miles. And now Miles out of the backfield. Has it inside the 10, touchdown. Beautiful design to Colton Miles.
Wow.
15 more yards. Euban is 3 for 3. And the Jaguars double digits on every play so far.
They look pretty good, don't they? That time, just a really nice play design. And play action fake. He goes behind the bootleg, and then the guy's wide open on the other side of the field. Kennedy kind of going to sleep, letting him go all by himself. And by the time he caught the ball, he's well behind the defense.
Extra point from Murray is good. 14-0 Jefferson. They've run just 6 plays so far, Jason, but every one of them has been successful, and that was an 81-yard drive in just 4 plays.
Almost 150 yards total offense in 6 plays, Josh. That's some solid offense, and quite frankly, that's not the defense you're looking for if you're Kennedy. Just quite frankly, Jefferson pushing him back. Up front, they're getting down the field. The Eagles really aren't getting much of even a hand on the Jaguar offensive players before they get 10 yards down the field, and that's just not going to cut it for the Eagles.
Do you want to mention tonight during the Battle of Bloomington, we will have much more on the Wounded Warrior Project. If you watched either Inside Jefferson football or Inside Kennedy football this week, we talked extensively about that great cause that both teams have been supporting. It's on full display tonight. We'll hear much more about it as the night goes on. So again, some big catches by Chevrolet for Jefferson, number 11, the wide receiver. He's got 2 of them on that drive. And then the payoff to Colton Miles out of the backfield. Beautiful design on that play. And Euban, the throws have not been down the field, but they have been very accurate so far, his 3 completions.
Trying to spread the Kennedy Eagles out a little bit and, take advantage of the speed on the outside.
Murray to kick. We'll see if they go short again. They will. Kennedy runs up and takes it at the 24-yard line, and Simmons out to the 35-yard line. So a bit better field position this time for Kennedy. Did some good things on their opening drive. We'll see if they can continue it.
All starts up front, Josh. This offensive line could really use some running plays right now. I'd like to see them, again, continue to throw the ball a little bit, get some completions, but I also want to see them start to run the ball here. This first down play is really important. They don't want to be in 3rd and 10 again.
Simmons to the left of Fine, and he'll take the handoff. Max Simmons finds the crease. Midfield, 44-yard line. There's the running game. 20 yards on that play. We get 21 yards for Simmons.
Talked about that line, Josh. That was a really nice job that time on the left side between the tackle and the guard. Simmons found the hole and shed a few tacklers, and really nice, tough run.
And he's got the speed. If you get him in the open field, he can do exactly what he did on that last run. Accelerate quickly to that 2nd level. So into Jefferson territory again. Busted play here. And Fine will go down in the backfield at the 49. It'll be a loss of 5. It almost looked like they wanted a quick rollout, Jason, but the snap was high, and they couldn't get the blocking in time.
Yeah, usually the Jaguars don't come through that unabated unless it's by design. So Kennedy just a little out of sync on offense. They'll put a couple of really nice plays together and then hurt themselves a little bit on a play or two. And in order to really move the ball efficiently and consistently, you need to kind of tighten that stuff up and have a lot more consistency in the good side. That
has been one of the issues for Kennedy is that consistency, because they look very good at times. Here's a 2nd and 15, fine on the rollout. Escaped one and then just throws it downfield. That's actually a very smart play, and he got it to the feet of Eckerson, who was in the area to avoid any sort of a penalty, and saved about 15 yards.
Yeah, even in 1 week, Josh, I've seen a lot of improvement above the shoulders from the quarterback play of Kennedy, putting his team in position to even in long distance here, 3rd and 15, but a chance to get a first down. That would have surely killed that drive if he'd have gone down there.
Not only to throw it away, Jason, but even before that, to break that tackle and avoid the sack was big as well. So 3rd and 15.
Still a big play here, though. You want to get some momentum back after giving up 2 touchdowns.
Free blitzer off the edge, and Fine just has to get rid of it again. Good scheme there by Jefferson. We saw that exact same blitz last week, Jason, work out to a Jaguar safety, and the defense for the Jaguars has been very aggressive so far.
Yeah, why not, really? I mean, you're trying to keep this Kennedy offense off balance. You're trying to put pressure on them make quick decisions, especially when they've been a little bit out of sync in their first 2 games. And the Jaguars have done that really well here so far.
So Eisenberg back. Jefferson does have 2 return men deep this time. Low kick with bounce, and this will be down inside the 15. Very nice kick by Eisenberg as it's dead at the 13-yard line. So another long field for Jefferson with 6:26 here left in the first quarter. And again, folks, if you want to tune in inside Kennedy football and inside Jefferson football every week, premiered on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. First it's Jefferson, then Kennedy, and those will be repeating throughout the football week. Only on BEC-TV, inside Jefferson football and inside Kennedy football. Love talking with both coaches and the kids during all those segments. It's been very fun to get to know them so far this year. Euban out of the gun, Neil Walsh in motion. Colton Miles. There's that Kennedy defense. No gain, maybe 1 yard on that play up the middle. That's what they need to do more of.
Yeah, really nice play by Brendan Hobbs there, coming off from his defensive end position to plug up that hole, make a sure tackle. Definitely that's what Kennedy needs to do more of.
We'll also spotlight some of the Kennedy seniors tonight. We're doing that because Kennedy is the home team. We'll have many more Jefferson home games this year as well as Kennedy, and during each home game we'll spotlight those teams' seniors throughout the football season. Tradition on BEC-TV. We'll continue it this year. Here's a 2nd and 10 for Euban. Sets up and fires. Far side. Nice grab. And it's inbounds for the first down. And a leaping catch for the Jaguars over there. Pickup of, call it 12 yards. And I believe that's 14 John Carlson with his first grab of the night.
Good throw and catch. And we're seeing already from the Jaguar quarterback, Euban, that he really likes to roll to his left and throw across his body. He's been pretty accurate that way. He likes to roll out, period. Get outside of the pocket and see what happens with his feet.
Euban 4 for 4 already here in the first quarter, and that was to Carlson. So another first down for the Jaguars. Walsh and Miles in the backfield. Euban 3 steps and it's out, incomplete for Shepro. On the slant, his first incompletion tonight.
Yeah, the first Jaguar play that's gone for no gain tonight. Kennedy, though, on the first down defense, starting to put a little more pressure on the Jaguars, starting to put them in some long yardage situations. And the last series, the Jaguars were able to complete a pass. This time, maybe the Kennedy Eagles have a little more success. We'll see. So
2nd and 10 for the Jaguars. High snap, Euban's got another quick out. Shepard has to turn around to make the catch, and a nice open field tackle by the Eagles, Peyton Morales. It'll be 3rd and long.
Shepro, he's got some speed, he's got some shakiness. A really, really nice play there by Morales to make that tackle. And here's what we're talking about. You make a good play on the edge, you get him outside, and all of a sudden the Jaguars are in 3rd and long.
And it's just a little thing, Jason, but that throw slightly behind the receiver doesn't get a chance to turn upfield quite as quickly. And Kennedy right there to take advantage with Morales. So 3rd and 10. Eagles trying to get their first stop. Euban out of the gun, looking deep, middle, and incomplete for Rasmussen. Good coverage by Kennedy. They were right there in the area. Looked like DeJuan Bowers was right on the spot that he needed to be, and it's 4th down. Jefferson sends out the punt team. So the Jaguar punt team for the first time tonight, and it's Murray handling both the kicking and punting duties. And for the Jaguars, Nate Eckerson back deep. He's standing at about his 35-yard line. Murray, pretty good kick, will check the bounce, and it stops up quickly, and it's dead at the Kennedy 39-yard line. So the Eagle defense, Jason, comes up big after giving up just one first down, and now they take over in very good field position. Third possession for Kennedy. Both of them so far have gone into Jefferson territory, so they've been able to move it. Now it's just a matter of finishing the drives. I formation for Kennedy. And they hand it to Simmons up the middle, and he squirts through a couple of tacklers. He'll pick up 2, maybe 3. The fullback in, Joe Tim, number 40 for the Eagles, as Kennedy, a rare I formation look right there. So 2nd down and 7 after that gain of 3 from Simmons.
Kennedy just saying, here, we're going to run the football, try to stop us. And I like that play. It's a good thing for them. And here, see the eye again.
Eckerson and Van Sloan, the wideouts on 2nd and 7. The blitz coming up the middle again. Fine on the rollout. Has Simmons, and it's just off his fingertips and incomplete. Had some running room, Jason, but they just could not quite make the connection. And now Fine, after hitting his first pass, he's now 1 of 7.
And again, those little things, Josh, we've been talking about for Kennedy. That was a play where the ball's in your hands. Everybody executes, and then the ball it's just dropped. And that's the kind of stuff that you got to clean up. If you're Kennedy on offense, you're going to put yourself in these offensive situations in 3rd and long.
3rd and 7, in fact. Will Jefferson blitz again? They have been aggressive here. They show it. And they come off the edge. Screen pass. Near side. Nice move by Simmons. Got past Kalina and got the first down. Or check that, got by Wharton and got the first down. Jefferson was waiting for that screen, Jason, but superior play by Simmons gets Kennedy the first down.
He beat 2 defenders to the outside. That was a really nice run after the catch by Simmons. But Jefferson even kind of saw that coming. They dared him to throw it quick. They dared him to throw it to a running back out of the backfield. And just Simmons outran the coverage. Nice play.
And he made up for that drop on the previous play as well. Perhaps that was to Tim on the previous play. But first down for Kennedy. Simmons trying to get through the crease, and he dives close to the 45-yard line of Jefferson. So now, Jason, all 3 drives for Kennedy have gone into opponent territory.
Yeah, and if you're the Jefferson Jaguars, you're starting to see that Kennedy offensive line start to push you back a little bit. That's a few decent first down runs here for Kennedy in a row, and they're starting to kind of loosen up that Jaguar defense just a little bit, make them respect the edge.
Good start for Simmons. He's got 2 catches out of the backfield, also 4 carries for 29 yards here early. Here's Simmons again. Struggles forward for a couple more, and he's down to the Jaguar 43-yard line. Another 3 yards, it'll be 3rd down and 4.
We talked about Kevin Lorton in the open, Josh, the 6'0", 200 linebacker for Jefferson. He came through that time, he got up to the line of scrimmage and got those feet, and was instrumental in making that tackle and keeping Kennedy in a 3rd and 5. Really nice play.
We'll officially say 3rd and 5. Just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Kennedy trying to keep a drive going. Here's Fine, finds some room up the middle, and he's going to get the first down. Lost the football, though. Jefferson's got it. The 9th turnover forced by this defense. And another possession for Kennedy ends without points in Jefferson territory.
Kennedy was doing everything right. And then the self-inflicted mistake haunts them one more time. And it's unfortunate for Kennedy. They were rolling there. They would have had a first down, but credit the Jaguars for getting in there and making a play on defense.
Jefferson now +9 in turnovers through 2 games in less than a quarter.
Usually when you do that, you're winning football games.
And that's one of the biggest reasons, maybe even the biggest reason why Jefferson's 2-0, as the Jaguars are going to take a timeout. Jefferson's first timeout of the half. That was a good decision, too, by Fine. He made that quick decision, got enough room up the middle to get the first down, just did not hang on to the football at the end. Jason, what a beautiful night for this Battle of Bloomington. I mean, look at the Jefferson sideline. It's full. The Kennedy sideline as well. Just a great night for football and the Bloomington community, as we note every year.
Yeah, one of the best atmospheres of the year. It usually is here at Bloomington Stadium, and this is a stadium that's been romanticized in recent days and weeks, even in the social media of the world, and for rightly so. This is a stadium that's been around a long time. It's a great place to watch and play a ball game, and these two teams obviously have had this game circled on their calendar for a while. So far so good. Everybody's brought it tonight.
Following the turnover, Jefferson will start at the 36-yard line. Neil Walsh, second carry. DeAndre Brown! Whoa! What a hit! And a big loss on first down. That's what 23 can bring to the table.
I would say the momentum's starting to swing here a little bit, Josh. Kennedy really starting to feel it on their sideline, and that's a really nice negative play from the Kennedy defense, and all of a sudden Jefferson maybe a little shell-shocked. Other than that turnover, it's about the only thing that's gone right for the Jaguars the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, we talked to DeAndre on Tuesday night about that big hit against Burnsville last year, and I think he was trying to get another highlight reel hit. Nice job by the senior linebacker. 2nd and 15, did Kennedy jump? They were moving in the neutral zone. And it is an offside on Kennedy. So once again, Jason, you make a great play in the backfield for a 5-yard loss, and then really you're just trying to intimidate the offensive line. They weren't even trying to anticipate the snap count, and you get an unforced error, you give those yards right back.
Yeah, it just crept up too far. Trying to show blitz, trying to make the offensive lineman think, but went a little too far. Cost him 5 yards.
Second penalty for Kennedy. Jefferson yet to get penalized here in the first quarter, just over a minute to go. 2nd and 10. Miles on the delay. Finds some room up the middle. Tackled by Grant Johnson, but not before 7 yards, maybe 6 yards. We'll call it 3rd and 4.
Nice play off the right side of that Jaguar offensive line, 6 more yards. And here's where that 5-yard penalty really hurts you, Josh. You'd have been in 3rd and 9, but instead you're here in 3rd and 4. A much more convertible, the percentages go way up in conversions at this distance.
Ewan will go from the shotgun. And I think they're going to have to burn another timeout. They will, with just 24 seconds left before the end of the first quarter. Maybe some miscommunication over there. I saw some coaches gesturing wildly over there. That usually means that something's not going right. Jefferson burns the timeout.
So
you see that big student section over there for Jefferson. That's one thing that Coach Carlson noted in his victory on the road against the 6A school Coon Rapids last week. He called out the Jefferson student section, but in a good way. They traveled in full force and really helped out the Jaguars, and you see how much of that away section those students are taking up with the whiteout over there.
A little easier to travel to Bloomington Stadium than Coon Rapids.
Correct. They've come out nicely, as has the Kennedy students wearing the hunting gear per usual for them, as well as the Kennedy band. 3rd and 4. Fake handoff. Euban looking for options. Floats it far side of the catch made. And just stepping out of bounds, or he might still be going, Charlie Sweeney. He's got a first down, and Jefferson converts on 3rd to keep the drive going.
Another nice offensive play design. Letting that rush come in, but Jaguars knew they had that guy crossing, and a nice play. Again, that's where those being in a shorter down distance, you can sort of go play action. You can sort of fake it one way and then throw another. And credit the Jaguars, starting to get that momentum back now for them on offense.
In the Kennedy territory for the 3rd time. They've finished both of those other drives in touchdowns. Miles on the give. Colton Miles with speed to the 2nd level and down to the 26-yard line. He's got a first down, probably the final play of the quarter, 18 more.
Really nice run that time. He just got the top speed really fast, and there was a little bit of a hole there, and he hit it really hard. It was just a really nice run.
That'll be the end of the first quarter, 14-0 Jefferson. We say hello once again to Paul Fournier. Paul?
With Jefferson Booster Club, who knows a little bit here tonight.
Scott Murray.
Did Jefferson?
Coach Carlson, a real big fan of Wounded Warrior Project, and so he kind of took this on and started. And we're in our 5th year now. We've raised, I think, just over $15,000 for the organization. Fundraising in the all that money goes. And we'll be passing for cash donation. 100% of the funds will be going to the project.
Now, what exactly are your projects for the don't know at home?
Wounded Warrior Project funds for veterans who have come home and who have been wounded in action. We've got a lot of veterans that are coming home, military personnel who have been injured in action in Afghanistan and Iraq and other parts of the world. And this is a way for us to get funds directly to those folks.
Now, if someone here tonight at the game, how could they do that?
Wounded Warrior Project. It's a wonderful organization. They do great things. There's some really neat videos on there showing some of the things that those funds provide.
All right, Scott, thank you for your back up to this.
Thanks a lot, Paul. What a great cause, the Wounded Warrior Project, and I encourage anyone out there to go to woundedwarriorproject.org, as Mr. Murray alluded to, and watch some of the videos. They are very powerful, and again, a great cause that both schools continue to support. Jefferson with the lead as we start the 2nd quarter. 14-0, and they're driving at the 26 of Kennedy. Rasmussen in motion. Colton Miles trying to get to the edge. And he will. He'll get down to about the 20. Kennedy trying to strip the football out, but Miles hangs on. Gain of 5 as we start the 2nd quarter. Good night so far for Colton Miles. He's got a couple of touchdowns, and well over 50 yards on the ground. Will total it up here after this play on just 6 carries. Euban to throw. Far side, Rasmussen into the end zone! And it is caught for the touchdown! Perfect throw and catch. Euban to Rasmussen for 19, and a Jaguar score.
Just love seeing good offensive play And then time you saw it from the Jaguars. Really nicely blocked, good solid pocket. Ubin with a really nice throw, and Rasmussen with a really nice route and catch. It's just good offensive execution from the Jaguars.
Second touchdown in as many games for Rasmussen. Had a big 40-yarder last week. And Murray's extra point is good. 21-0. That was pretty good coverage, Jason, but Ubin has been red hot. He's 7 out of 8, and the last throw was right on the money.
Yeah, we're starting to see this turn into quite the quarterback.
Yeah, they've got a quarterback. They have got a quarterback, and he has been executing perfectly here in the first half. 4 different receivers have caught passes already, 2 for the Jaguars.
Well, and I think what you're seeing from both teams, Josh, one team's executing, the other team's really not executing right now. We're a little more than 12 minutes into this football game, and it's the Jaguars that are doing the little things better than the Kennedy Eagles are doing them right now. That's really translating into a big early lead.
Jefferson will kick off with Eisenberg deep. The kicks have been short so far. We'll also have the Hall of Fame ceremony at halftime, so stick around. Kennedy Hall of Fame. Some new members will be added at halftime for 2014. Also the Colleens at the half, so stick around. A lot more to come tonight in the Battle of Bloomington on BEC-TV. Max Simmons takes the kickoff out to the 35. So the short kicks have been limiting the big returns for Kennedy, Jason, but they continue to start off with good field position as a result.
Well, the Jaguar defense really, they're daring Kennedy to drive at 65 yards, and they know that Kennedy on offense hasn't been able to put together the long drives consistently at this season. So the Jaguar defense, again, bending but not breaking, and it's working out for them so far.
And that's what they've done. Last week they gave up almost 250 yards on the ground to Coon Rapids, but they only gave up 6 points because the defense continued to bow up when they needed to. Empty backfield for Fine. The quick out, is that forward or backward? Don't see a whistle yet. They're going to rule it a fumble. And I believe Jefferson football. They're now plus 10 in turnovers.
Another one of those seemingly little mistakes by the Eagle offense. You don't want to go backwards. The ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage, and they, just a little high, unable to come up with it. And now the Jaguars in a very short field. Second turnover of the night.
See if we can try to get a good look from our crew on that one. So tough to call, and of course they have to do it live. It was close, and they ruled it a fumble. Jefferson takes over, and now inside the 30. Looking to really open it up here in the first half. Ubin out of the gun. Might want to take a shot right now, and they will. Open! Shepro! Touchdown! Check that, not Shepro. Carlson got behind the defense. 2 touchdowns in less than 20 seconds for the Jaguars. 24 yards this time on the strike.
They are absolutely picking on these cornerbacks right now of the Kennedy Eagles. And Ubin, come on, he's feeling it.
Wow. That was right in stride again to Carlson. Murray right down the middle. The Jefferson Jaguars. Who saw this passing game coming? They haven't needed it much through the first 2 weeks. But Ubin, 3 touchdowns. He's 8 out of 9. Talk about efficiency in the first half.
Rough night for the Eagle defense so far. The Jaguars really just, again, offense, defense, special teams, whatever. They're just out executing this team. And the execution is turning into, it's not just the little things anymore now. It's the big things, throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage and not coming up with it. And the other little thing, not securing the ball after you run for a first down and giving it up in a turnover. And the other little things that the Jaguars have done right. And Kennedy not so much.
8 out of 9 for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns is the line for Zach Euban here in the first half.
That's a fantastic number all around.
And those last 2 touchdowns, Kennedy in pretty good shape, but the throws have been perfect. Another short kick, Simmons. Good block from Eisenberg, and Simmons charges ahead again, out past the 35 to the 36-yard line.
What do you do now if you're Kennedy?
Boy, just a minute into this second quarter.
You were down 14-0 less than 1 minute of playing time ago, Josh, and all of a sudden the floodgates have opened, and I think Kennedy just has to start out, try to do the little things right. One play at a time, try to, you're not going to obviously hit a 28-point play.
That last drive for Kennedy was the first time they had not advanced into Jefferson territory on any drive so far tonight. Simmons out across the 40 to the 41. That's a gain of about 4 on first down. Simmons now 6 carries for 33 yards, so he's over 5 yards a carry on the ground tonight.
Yeah, it's not that this Eagle team hasn't moved the football, Josh. They've done that. They've just made the mistakes that have cost them chances to continue drives.
2nd and 6, 10.5 minutes before halftime. Battle of Bloomington. Jefferson won a very close game last year. Came down right to the end. Here's the deep ball, Fine to the outside. A lot of contact. Eckerson's looking for a flag. Do not see one, and it'll be 3rd down.
Eckerson looks almost like he tripped over his own feet or something, and in the process of going down there, he took out the Jaguar defender, so really just incidental contact, no flag. So 3rd and 6. Again, the Eagles in offense in a situation where they picked up a few of these tonight. They're going to have to get a little creative here again.
Need to take it out to the 47-yard line. Van Sloan, Eisenberg to the wide side. Eckerson will also join them over there. Bryant to this side. Looking for Bryant. The fade route. Lots of contact. There's the flag. Bryant's left arm was being held, and the official saw it, and rightly so, threw the flag.
Yeah, I saw Bryant actually step out of bounds multiple times as he ran down that field. No doubt that he was being pushed in some way, shape, or form.
It's a spot foul in the high school game. And that should move the football again into Jefferson territory. And they will march it off. This will end up being a 15-yard penalty. First penalty on Jefferson. Kennedy only 2 through a quarter plus.
You like that matchup, though, if you're Kennedy. Bryant's been covered. He's got some size. The situation he could go up and get that ball.
Jefferson's almost forced this long passing game with the aggressiveness at the line of scrimmage. Nice run here by Fine. Getting to the edge, using a couple blocks, and picked up what he could. About 3 more down to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, I really like that play by Dwayne Moore. He ran all over the field from his defensive line position to beat Matt Fine to that line of scrimmage. He ran him to the left, he ran him to the right, came up from behind, actually almost just tried to strip the football, but made a good, sure tackle.
9:40 left, second quarter. Kennedy trying to get on the board. Simmons on the delay, that goes nowhere. Oh, it does. They fake the delay and they get it outside. And a first down with lots of running room for Fine. He even fooled me there on the keeper, Jason, and he got around the edge.
It never happens. That must have been a really good fake. No, Matt Fine is growing up here tonight a little bit. He's a really nice play fake that time. Nice job running around in the Kennedy offensive line. Another decent job of blocking out there. Kennedy in business now offensively.
11-yard gain, took advantage of that blitz by keeping the football. That was, as you said, that was a great decision. Furthest they've been in Jefferson territory so far. Fine calls his own number again. They must have been must have been seeing some things in the film, Jason, because that's about the third time tonight. Design quarterback run. I don't think we've seen that so far this year from Kennedy. That one picks up about 7.
Yeah, and that offensive line's starting to get a real push off the line. 5-6 yards on first down. You're going to like your odds on that. Now again, though, can Kennedy finish this drive?
That's been the issue so far tonight. This is the kind of distance you want, those 2nd down and 4. Eisenberg in motion. Yet to get a touch tonight. They'll try the quick out, and it is knocked away. They wanted Eckerson over there. Very good coverage, as it looked like Zach Cushing was right there in the area and knocked it away.
Yeah, that really couldn't have been defended any better.
4-down territory, you think here, Jason, for Kennedy. This would be a 40-plus yard field goal, so don't need to pick it all up yet, but you want to get at least some positive yards.
Haven't seen a lot of distance field goals yet from the Eagles this year either in situations like this.
Plus, you're down by 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
We'll see if they try to get some on the ground. They do with Simmons. Fine, kept it again, and he's very close to the marker. Teddy Kalina was hanging on for dear life. They might need to measure this one. It's right at the 20, and they will signal 4th down and less than 1.
Yeah, they didn't measure. Now they're going to measure.
Okay.
I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, it looked very close from up here.
Yeah, just by the eye test, I mean, I might say he's a football length short, maybe not even that much, but they got to be sure.
So the first measurement tonight. And no question, if they don't make it here, you're such a short distance to go. Kennedy will definitely go for it on 4th. Again, stick around at the half. We'll have the Kennedy Hall of Fame, the Colleens, halftime entertainment, the Battle of Bloomington. Jefferson with the win. Remember, Jason, they were 2-0 last year. They got the 2 wins early on in the season. Then the schedule got tougher, and the wins got tougher to come by. But the Jaguars with the win tonight would move to 3-0. And then who knows, Jason, they'd still be on top of the conference. They've got some tougher games coming up later in the season. We'll see them against Cooper. They've still got games against Chaska and Benilde. But 3-0 would look awfully good after tonight. But they got a ways to go yet to get there. 4th and less than a yard. And they throw to Bryant, and he's got it! Inside the 5. That's execution by Kennedy on 4th down when they needed it.
Yeah, and how about the confidence by the Kennedy coaching staff and your quarterback and your wide receiver? This is a really important play for the Kennedy offense and that quarterback, Matt Fine. I mean, you take the ball out of your running back's hands, you take the ball out of the running game, and you throw a ball, and you kind of roll the dice a little bit, but really, really nice play, and that could very well be the start of a lot of good things for Kennedy.
Well, and you know it's been one-on-one coverage exclusively for Jefferson tonight. That's been their game plan. Kennedy took advantage of it there. Biggest play so far, that last one for Kennedy. Can they finish the drive? Simmons, not yet. He's stacked up and loses one back to the 5-yard line. And you know, Fine hasn't exactly been tearing it up stats-wise, Jason. Before that throw, he was 2 out of 10. But I like the call. You say, okay, we still got confidence in you. Need a tight throwing ball into coverage on 4th down, and he got it done.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's one of those, get-her-done plays, and he got it done. Credit the quarterback.
Jefferson tried to substitute late, and this will force them to take their last time out. Dwayne Moore was running all over the field, and Coach Carlson burns the last one with 6:49 to go in the first half. And it'll be 2nd and goal for Kennedy. Best drive of the night, Jason. They picked up a 3rd down and a 4th down. Now all they need to do is get it into the end zone. They got 5 more yards.
Yeah, this is the first drive here tonight that they haven't really beaten themselves, haven't made that mistake that's either caused them to go backwards or turn the ball over. And This is what you like to see from Kennedy. You'd like to see this from anybody, but really like to see this, and it'd be good for them to put some points on the board and get back into this football game. Still plenty of time left.
Yeah, they've still got more than half of the second quarter to go. There's so much time left, Jason. Jefferson scored so quickly. That's the thing. Kennedy can get things moving here.
Yeah, in the span of 3 offensive plays in that the first minute of this quarter, there were 2 touchdowns scored. There was one play for Jefferson that went for 6, then the fumble by Kennedy, and then on the first play, Jefferson scored again.
Fine will go out of the gun. Might look Bryant's way to the fade again. Fine quarterback keeper has a seam closed quickly, though. Teddy Kalina with a nice tackle. Fine got another yard, maybe 2 to get down close to the 3. It'll be 3rd and goal.
The Jaguar subs much more aggressive this time.
I think they're putting the goal line package in there now on 3rd and goal.
4-down territory, I would think.
No doubt. This is obviously a makeable field goal because it's an extra point distance, and we've seen Kennedy make that this year. But where you are in the football game, I think 4th down, you go for it. Chance Wynn has joined the backfield as a fullback. Here's a 3rd down pass play to Eckerson. And did he catch it? No, but it's incomplete, but a flag. And that was a good call, Jason. Eckerson got run into. This will be 1st and goal for Kennedy.
Yeah, really trying to get Eckerson into the football game. No better way to do that than on a 3rd and goal type of play. And I think that was absolutely the right call. The Jaguar defender with him every step, but didn't look back, took out the arm, really didn't allow Eckerson to make a play on the football.
Kennedy's done a good job of selling both of those pass interference penalties. You saw Bryant earlier holding up that arm. And that time Eckerson jumping up toward the Jaguar defender. You got to sell it, too. That's the other part of it, even if there is contact. Kennedy's done that. So now 1st and goal, just outside the 1. Back to the shotgun. Simmons will lead block for Fine. He's got the edge, and he's got a Kennedy touchdown. Matt Fine from a yard out. Big drive for Kennedy, execution the key all the way down the field. Yeah. They end it with 6.
That's the best drive I've seen from Kennedy all season, Josh. A really nice job putting things together, executing, making plays in the clutch when it counted on 3rd and down, 4th down. Fine, doing a nice job at quarterback, making good decisions. Just a good all-around solid drive that time for the Eagles.
Extra point, no good by Jelisinski, the kicker. But Kennedy does get on the board. Midway through the second quarter, Jason, 28-6, and now defense needs to string together some stops. But before that, our first Kennedy senior spotlight of the night, Sam Chesky, number 54. We saw him earlier this year on Inside Kennedy Football, the senior right guard, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Loves to eat spaghetti before games and listen to rap. Other Guys is his favorite TV show. His favorite football memory and moment, beating Southwest last year in the playoffs, and boy did they ever. His typical game day, take a short nap, listen to some music to get ready. They want to go deep into playoffs just like they did last year, Jason. They were oh so close to getting to the section championship. Plans for next year, he plans to attend college, not sure where yet. Something interesting about him that you may not know, first time he ever played football, Jason, was just 3 years ago. He was just a freshman, so he's accelerated quickly. His advice for younger players, play all 4 years and get in the weight room every chance you get. Sam Chesky, number 54. He was also voted by Dante Davis Barber last week as the person that he would want to have him do his homework. So obviously a very good student as well.
We'll hope he doesn't do his homework, but that's always a nice compliment to get from a teammate.
Good special teams coverage by Kennedy as Jefferson will take over at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, the momentum here in this football game is definitely kind of switched to the Kennedy side of the field. And if you're Kennedy now, you're Jefferson, you're up 22 points, but you need to put the drive together here. You need to kind of put your foot down and say, no, this is our football game. And so I think the Jaguars are really going to be excited about trying to move the football here and see if they can take the momentum right back.
We'll see if Jefferson can slow down the passing game of Zach Ubin tonight. 3 passing touchdowns already. He's got Colton Miles to his right as Walsh in motion, and Miles finds a seam up the middle and a good tackle with the ball coming loose at the end. Does Kennedy have it? They might. Will they rule it a fumble? It looked like they ruled him down, so Jefferson will keep it, and Colton Miles gets 15 yards out to the 38.
Yeah, Miles doing the job again, and that time that left side of the offensive line did the job blocking. Again, not really touched till he got to the second, third level of that defense, and a tackle made that play, but that was Jefferson saying, here you go. Try to stop us. Try to take it. And Jefferson did their job getting it down the field, making a big play. 7
carries for 82 yards so far in the first half for Colton Miles. Walsh again in motion. Ubin looking that way, throwing the deep ball for Shepro, but it's too far. Just his second incompletion of the night.
Pretty nice, good coverage that time. Really giving Ubin nowhere to throw that football, even though it was a really nice looking ball from Ubin.
Yeah.
Wow.
And really both teams have done this, Jason, and they've had to, but Kennedy, they need to stop the run, so they've been packing it more in the box, and that has left single coverage out on the edge, just like we've seen when Kennedy is on offense. That's why Jefferson's taking deep shots. High snap. Walsh got out to the 40, but that's it. 3rd and long. Here's the opportunity for the Kennedy defense on a 3rd and 8 to get off the field.
Yeah, good job by Michael Heepler that time, the linebacker, to come up into that hole, make a tackle, and bring him down pretty quickly. And it's up to Jefferson now. Let's see if that hot quarterback can make another really good throw. Haven't seen a lot of blitz pressure from tonight from the Eagles, but maybe we'll see something here.
Carlson wide this side, Shepro and Rasmussen wide to the top side, 3rd and 8. Walsh goes in motion. Ubin looking this way for Carlson, and he can't hang on. Would have had enough for the first down. Tried to outstretch for it. It'll be 4th down, so the Kennedy defense with that stop.
It's a really hard throw. We talk about it all the time, Josh, running away, kind of throwing across your body. Ubin has done that well tonight, but credit the Eagles. They got a pass rush up the middle off that back side of the line, making Ubin maybe throw it a little bit faster than he might have wanted to, and the Eagles making some things happen here.
Eckerson back deep. Murray back to punt. Eckerson right now standing at his 30. High snap, but Murray's got it. And the kick is away. And it takes a nice Jefferson bounce. Really good angle on that kick, using the wide side of the field. And it comes dead at the 21-yard line for Kennedy. So 39-yard punt, no return. Kennedy will start. 4:18 left in the second quarter. They still have 2 timeouts, Jason, so plenty of time here to get this last drive in before the half.
Yeah, no problem. 2 timeouts and 4:18 on the clock. Again, it just comes down to execution. Kennedy, the last several minutes here, doing the right things on offense and defense. Now it's time to sustain it for a little while.
Fine out of the gun, fakes it again. This time Jefferson ready. But they were ready for both options that time, Jason. And Fine stacked up for a loss of 1, maybe 2 in the backfield.
But Jefferson will make adjustments as they go through the game.
That was Fine's 8th carry of the night. Check that 9th carry of the night. That is much more than he is used to, that we've actually seen through the first 2 games. So that has been an adjustment for Kennedy. 2nd and 11. Fine to throw, the fade again for Bryant, and he just can't come down with it.
Had him this time. I actually think that was a pretty well thrown football. I think Bryant just sort of mistimed his jump a little bit. Looked like he got up in the air a little too fast and got himself out of position to make the tackle, but I like the play design. I like the idea, and again, single coverage, going after him with a good matchup. It was a good thought by Kennedy, but they didn't quite execute.
Bryant just a sophomore, but he goes 6'4". So he's got that height advantage. They'll also throw Van Sloan in the mix at times. He's 6'5". He's lined up down here on the near side. 3rd and 11.
Only one guy, 3 guys, 10 guys for Jefferson within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage.
On the run, Fine over the middle. It's caught. Close to the marker. Van Sloan the catch. We'll have to check the spot. Might be a yard short.
Jefferson really packed in that defense, tried to get a pass rush, tried to clog up the middle of that field, and they give him the first down.
They do.
That's a generous, thought they'd at least want to measure that.
Kennedy will certainly take it.
Nice conversion, though.
Absolutely.
Really nice throw by Fine. Good job coming across the field by Sloan and Van Sloan, and really making the Kennedy Eagles starting to put some things together on offense. It's really good to see.
I like how Fine moved the pocket there once that first read wasn't open. Here comes the all-out blitz. And they get him. Kevin Lorton timed it perfectly. He almost beat Fine to the football.
Snap a little bit off to the side didn't help, but I don't think that play was going anywhere even if the snap was perfect. The Jaguar linebackers were all over that one.
Loss of 8. That's an aggressiveness that Jefferson has shown at many times throughout this first half. Approaching 2.5 minutes to go. Check that the loss of 10 all the way back to the 20. Well, the loss of 8 back to the 24. So 2nd and 18. This time more time for Fine. Bryant again. Can't quite hang on. They continue to go after that matchup. That time good coverage by Jefferson.
They've hit that matchup a couple times. I really like the matchup they're getting out there. Bryant with speed and size. He's getting open. They're just not quite clicking. That time it was Fine, leading him a little too far.
So now 3rd and 20. Bryant will check out. Remember, Jefferson out of timeouts. If you are Kennedy, you could run a play here and take a good 35 seconds, 40 seconds off the clock. Nope, they fake the handoff. Fine, goes deep again. He's got Eckerson, and he's got it. Down to the 47-yard line, into Jefferson territory. 28-yard hookup on 3rd and 20.
We're starting to see a quarterback being born tonight, Josh. And what a throw that time by Fine, selling the play. We all thought he might actually run that football or might hand it off, but a really nice route, really nice throw across the field, over 2 defenders, and a nice play by Eckerson. Talk about getting him involved. That was a really nice job to come back to the football, make a sure catch.
Clock is on the move with under 2 minutes to go. Kennedy does still have 2 more timeouts. 5th time in Jefferson territory in the half. Looking deep again, Van Sloan. Did he catch it? He did. He caught it at the 10. But check at the 15. What a catch from Van Sloan.
Now, we're talking about beautiful football plays. This is a beautiful football play. Just a really nice pocket. Fine delivering a really nice ball down the middle of the field. Van Sloan making an absolutely beautiful catch. I didn't think he was going to catch that football.
No, thought there was no way. Used the 6'5" frame and outstretched.
That might be Van Sloan on the ground.
He is down.
What a beautiful catch he just made,
Yeah.
stretching out all the way.
Easily the best catch of the year so far at Bloomington Stadium, and we hope he's okay.
I would say it is.
So
Again,
the
just
Eagles finally hitting some deep pass plays, Jason. Last 2 plays 28 yards and 32 yards, and they're in the red zone.
Well, all night long, Jefferson has been single covering those receivers, daring Kennedy to throw on them. And credit Matt Fine, the wide receivers, and the entire Kennedy offense. They're starting to take advantage of that and hit some of those pass plays and move this ball down the field.
Well, they've stuck with it too, Jason.
Yeah,
they haven't given up. They've seen the matchups that are still there. They haven't been afraid to continue to take aggressive shots down the field.
But just a solid couple drives here, and all of a sudden we're a minute 38 to go in the second quarter, and if Kennedy can finish this drive off, keep things going, boy, they're going to take a head of steam into that locker room. There he's sitting up. I think I like the looks of this.
Looks like Van Sloan at least is coming off under his own power. Might be an arm injury to the right arm.
Shoulder or something. Maybe.
Yeah, possibly when he came down on the turf.
He got right up like there was nothing wrong, but now his right arm basically motionless as they walk him off.
We'll check his progress. Maybe Paul can get a report down there. But it is Kennedy with the
84.
first down, and the clock is running with 95 seconds to go. They're at the Jefferson 15. Fake to Simmons. On the move, Fine for Eckerson, and it's just out of his reach. Would have been out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10.
They can tell these Eagles, though, they've hit some big plays. They're moving the ball down the field. You can just see that little extra bounce in their step. You can see that confidence starting to come. And, I mean, right there, I saw a lot of effort on that play. And we didn't always see that last couple of games from this team. So I really like they're clearly putting some things together and starting to work together better on offense.
Can still run it here with 2 timeouts and plenty of time. Even without the timeout, still minute 25. Quick slant, it's intercepted by Kevin Lorton. Lorton down the sidelines, and he will go. Huge play from the senior linebacker and a touchdown, Jefferson. They hit that quick slant earlier, Jason, on that 4th and 1. This time, Jefferson was ready for it. Kevin Lorton making the play, taking it 88 yards for the touchdown.
You talk about a momentum killer and swinger. That was the definition of that. What a play by Lorton to just put himself in the right spot. You talk about a player to watch in our open. We talked about big 24 for Jefferson, and wow, did he make a huge play there.
Well, I was figuring he'd help out in the run game against Kennedy, but certainly another big swing for Jefferson. Looks like Kennedy's going to go in and get within a couple of touchdowns. All of a sudden, that Jaguar defense as they've been doing all year with the right play at the right time. Extra point from Murray is good. 35-6 with a minute 12 to go. Very similar to last week, Jason. Big swing right before the half as Cooper stretched out that lead. Right there, biggest play of the night easily.
Wow, though. What a momentum swing. Again, Kennedy rolling on offense. What a second quarter they've had. Moving the ball down the field. They might punch it in, get that to a 28-13, 28-14 game. Now it's 35-6. What just a dagger for the Eagles that interception in return was.
3rd turnover of the night, too, for Kennedy. We talked about their key of the game. We said limit turnovers.
Yeah.
3 of them in the first half for Kennedy.
Well, and just in general, limiting those self-inflicted mistakes and wounds. And just on that one drive they scored on, they put it together, they finished. And on every other drive tonight, they've moved the ball, but they've done those little things that haven't quite added up. And on that drive again, a mistake, a throw right to a defender who was in a really good spot, and there you go, pay the price again.
Here's the kick. Eisenberg won't get his hands on it. Still rolling. Fortunately for Kennedy, it does bound into the end zone for the touchback. So the Eagles now with 1:12 and 2 timeouts. They still have time again, especially the way they've been attacking downfield. We'll see if the Jaguars continue single coverage. But that one, I think that last play, Jason, less of a, obviously not a mental mistake. That's just a really solid play from a senior linebacker who's been watching this game and how it's unfolded and, you know, may have anticipated, probably did, that slant play and was right there.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It was just a really, really good linebacking play and then the athleticism to score.
Here's Fine taking advantage of the blitz. He runs right up the middle and he's out to the 35-yard line. Stops the clock on a gain of 15. Still 1:06 to go.
Now here's where if you're Jefferson on defense, 66 seconds left in the half, you're gonna try to rush Matt Fine on every play, try to make him a little uncomfortable. You're also gonna bend but don't break. You're gonna try to do exactly basically what you've done all game. And dare Kennedy to go 80 yards on you.
Clock is rolling, 48 seconds now. A run with Simmons, spun out of a couple of tackles. Max Simmons a first down and more. 13 more, and that'll stop the clock again. Really a nice run, probably his best run of the night.
Still not enough urgency from the Eagles on offense here. They gotta go.
Under 40 seconds now, still 2 timeouts for Coach Anderson.
Gotta go real fast. It's another 10 seconds that just went off the clock.
Eisenberg in motion. Fake the handoff. Now swing pass. Simmons got the corner. And he wisely gets out of bounds. Close to another first down at the 42-yard line. 20 seconds to go.
It's the bend but don't break defense extraordinaire for the Jaguars. Just making sure they make tackles, make sure that the Eagles get out of bounds, and they're just playing the clock game and the percentages right now. But wow, the Eagles have come a long way. Almost 45, 50 yards in 3 plays.
They're just short, so it'll be 2nd and 1. Still 2 timeouts for Kennedy, 20 seconds. 6th trip into Jefferson territory in the first half. Fine on the roll, stops, sets up, fires downfield. Eckerson, what a catch! At the 17. Clock stops, might want to call a timeout. Coach Anderson running onto the field to call it. 25-yard connection, Fine to Eckerson.
What a fantastic throw by Fine. Not an easy throw at all, but really a tight window to find find Eckerson, and just a really nice throw and catch. And wow, how about the Eagles? They're coming right down the field. They do have a chance to put up some points here before the end of the half.
14.4 seconds, so they've got time for probably 3 more plays. We're going to take time to talk about Clayton Witt, one of the senior spotlights for Kennedy. Number 67, 6'3", 240 pounds, plays offensive and defensive line, loves mac and cheese, listens to country music. His favorite TV show, Family Guy, and his favorite football memory is just playing with all of his friends every week. We'll get back to Clayton after this play for Kennedy. From the 17, they want the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown! Nate Eckerson with under 10 seconds to go in the half. And how about that for a bounce-back drive?
Quite frankly, that's a low percentage thing. That is an impressive drive from the Eagles. To shake off a pick 6, come right back down the field. Really nice throw after really nice throw from Matt Fine. And if you're Jefferson on defense, all of a sudden you're hemorrhaging yards. This Eagle offense is starting to figure some things out. And this 35-13 with that extra point, this is still a football game, Josh. This is not over yet.
Jelisinski tacks it on. Matt Fine on the drive, 3 for 3, 51 yards and the touchdown. As they run the 1-minute drill, actually took them 1:03 to score. An 80-yard drive for Kennedy in 4 plays.
It's really impressive stuff. And if you're the Jaguars. You're starting to wonder how it happened. But I think Matt Fine is growing up quickly tonight. He's really standing in there and delivering some really nice throws down the field. We hadn't seen that from him in the first 2 games, but starting to get on the same page as his receivers and starting to hit some big plays down the field.
He's close to 150 yards. The completion percentage isn't all that impressive. He's 9 out of 19, Jason, but remember, he started 2 for 10, so he's heating up quickly.
7 of his last 9, if you do the math.
You can do it quicker than me. There you go.
My Minnesota math.
9.6, so you'd expect a squib kick here.
Yeah.
From Kennedy, and there it is. And it flips up, still loose, picked up by Walsh. He can get hidden behind the defense. Neil Walsh to the 48-yard line, and the clock shows all zeros. So they gave up just enough of a return, did Kennedy, to avoid a final heave from Jefferson as the first half of the Battle of Bloomington comes to an end. If you like offense and big plays, Jason, we certainly did not disappoint in this first half.
I mean, it was a 28-0 game, Josh. We thought, oh, this thing's over. But credit the Kennedy Eagles. They've really come back strong. They've made this a football game, and I think they're going to have a chance. If they can keep that momentum going, they're going to have a chance to climb back into this one. But nonetheless, credit the Jaguars. He put up 35 points in the first half. He did a lot of things right on offense. You've got a quarterback throwing the ball very well. You've got a defense that's been opportunistic. Pretty entertaining all-around football game so far here tonight.
And a lot of it through the air, which I think both of us did not expect at all, Jason. Zach, you've been 8 out of 11 for 127 yards. Matt Fine, we'll get the total yards. He's up close to 150. He's 9 out of 19 with a touchdown. And we're down with Paul and Coach Carlson on the sidelines, Paul.
Coach Carlson came out really. You got a big lead. How did you keep your team's players' minds in the game and not on the game itself?
I didn't do a very good job because they have 13 points and they shouldn't. So I didn't do a very good job of that. We had them where we want them. We let them back in the ball game, just blowing coverages, mental mistakes that we can't make.
What's your message to the team in the locker room?
Hey, this is a 0-0 ball game. 0-0 ball game. We gave them way too much life at the end of that first half. We got to take back control. Our offense is doing a great job. They're moving the ball, and we have some things we want to do. We're doing it, but defensively we got to clean some things up.
At the end of the half, there, you were asking the referees for a clarification on why there wasn't no flag on that kickoff. What were you asking about?
They made it, one, you can never tackle by the head, and they made a point of emphasis that year. You saw that in our first game. Here, poor kids ripped down by his head, and there was no flag. And we seem to be able to get flags, but they haven't had a penalty yet, so that's kind of disheartening.
All right, second half. I'll throw it over to the Colleens there for the halftime entertainment.
Cedar Avenue. We also have a huge surprise tonight. London was able to come watch the girls support here, and here she is, Miss London. Now, here to perform for you are the Bloomington Colleens. The Colleens will be dancing to Let's Go. They are led by captains Latia Lee and Alexis Harrison and coached by Jacelyn Boomgarden. We hope you enjoy the performance. The Bloomington Colleens. Just a little technical difficulty. We're working on it. There you have them, the Bloomington Colleens. And as you can see, each of the members wearing their school colors. And again, we remind you of the fundraising events for Little London. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the 2014 Kennedy Athletics Hall of Fame induction. The purpose of the Hall of Fame is to give special recognition to students with outstanding achievement in athletics at Kennedy High School and to people who have made contributions in promoting athletics or have brought prominence to Kennedy High School through their post-high school accomplishments. We would like to thank the school board, our district administration, and the Kennedy administration team. Without their support, hard work, and leadership, this night would not have been possible. We would like to recognize our previous Athletics Hall of Fame inductees that are joining us here to celebrate this evening. Those previous inductees will be on the field welcoming the new induction class. I would now like to welcome our 4 2014 inductees and their families and friends. This is an extremely talented induction class, and it is a pleasure to honor them this evening. We will recognize each inductee by reading their biography, and they will receive a Hall of Fame plaque. A duplicate plaque will be displayed in our main hallway at Kennedy High School outside of the auditorium. Our 2014 inductees are Don Skoy, Robert Milkey, Al Hoffman, and Chuck Favrosky. Let's meet first Don Skoy. Don was a 1967 graduate of Kennedy High School. He participated in football, baseball, and wrestling. He lettered 6 times in 3 sports, twice in football, twice in wrestling, and twice in baseball. He was captain of both the football and wrestling teams. He was a member of 2 Lake Conference Championship baseball teams in 1966 and 1967. He was a member of the 1966 State Championship baseball team. Don participated in 2 wrestling state tournaments, finishing 3rd place in 1966. He was president of the Kennedy's Letterman's Club in 1966-67. He attended the University of Minnesota on a football scholarship and played for 2 years. He transferred to Augsburg College to finish his football playing career. Don earned all MIAC honors in 1970, 71, and 72 in football. He earned Lutheran College All-American honors in 1970, 71, and 72. He taught health and physical education at Buell High School from 1973 to 1982. He was the head coach of the Hibbing Community College football team from 1982 and 83, and he's a member of both the Augsburg Athletic Hall of Fame and the Kennedy Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Don Skoy. Next up, it's Robert Milkey. Robert was a 1966 graduate. He participated in baseball while at Kennedy. He was a member of the 1966 state championship team, selected to the All-Lake Conference, All-District, All-Region, and All-State baseball teams. He participated in the baseball team at Augsburg College. He was selected to the 1969 and 1970 All-Minnesota Interscholastic Athletic Conference teams. Members of the 1972 Chaska State Championship baseball team, and he was selected Most Valuable Player at the state tournament. Robert joined the United States Air Force in 1972. He served 23 years flying and employing the F-4 Phantom, and he was a Major Command Staff Officer at Headquarters United States Air Forces in Europe during the height of the Cold War years. Robert retired from the U.S. Air Force in December 1995 as a lieutenant colonel. Robert gained employment with Northrop Grumman Corporation in October 1995 and is currently serving as their senior technical advisor to the Director of Air and Space Operations, Headquarters United States Air Forces in Europe, Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Robert could not be here tonight due to previous obligations. Accepting on his behalf is his nephew, Jacob Milkey. Congratulations to Robert Milkey, 1966 graduate of Kennedy High School. Next up, Al Hoffman. Al was not able to be here tonight. He was a 1966 graduate of Kennedy High School, participating in baseball and football. He was a member of the 1966 state championship baseball team. He attended the University of Minnesota and played baseball in 1967 and 1968. He was a member of the 1968 Big Ten championship baseball team and was a member of the starting pitching staff at the U of M. Al was owner and president of Hoffman Communications in Honolulu, Hawaii. He received the Hawaii Broadcasters Association Broadcaster of the Year Award in 1991. Al has been involved in several leadership positions within the community of Honolulu. Because he cannot be here, accepting on his behalf is former Kennedy High School teacher and coach, Buster Rodebach. Congratulations to Al Hoffman. And finally, our fourth inductee tonight, Mr. Chuck Vavrosky, a 1979 graduate of Kennedy High School and currently a teacher there. Chuck participated in football, wrestling, and track and field while at Kennedy High School. He was captain of both the football and wrestling teams. In 1978, he was a state wrestling runner-up. In 1979, a state wrestling champion. He received all conference honors in football and all-conference and all-state honors in wrestling. Chuck lettered 10 times in 3 sports at Kennedy, 4 times in wrestling, 3 times in football and track and field. He's the first 10-time letter winner in school history. Chuck won the 1979 Junior World Wrestling Championship. He also won the 1979 Battle of State Wrestling Champions held in Wisconsin. He was a 9-time freestyle or Greco-Roman wrestling national champion. Chuck wrestled for the University of Minnesota. He qualified for the 1980 Olympic training team. Chuck wrestled professionally for the Minnesota Grizzlies of the National Wrestling League. Currently, Chuck is a social studies teacher at Kennedy and the head coach of the Kennedy wrestling team, the Bloomington wrestling team. Congratulations to Chuck Bavroski! Ladies and gentlemen, there you have them, the 2014 inductees, Don Skoy, Al Hoffman, Robert Milkey, and Chuck Bavroski. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Kennedy High School, the band, under the direction of Mr. John Engebretson and student director Lizzie Hunter.
We're down here on the field with the 2014 inductees into the Hall of Fame for Bloomington Kennedy. First of all, we're going to turn my attention here to Don Skoy. Don, you had a great career at Bloomington Kennedy. We got to see you playing a lot of activities, a lot of sports. Obviously, the Hall of Fame is a huge thing for you. Tell us a little bit about your family and who came to join you here for this celebration.
Well, thanks. It is a great honor for me to get this from Bloomington Kennedy. I had a great career there. It was most fun time of my life. I didn't realize, I thought everybody did everything that I did, so it was really quite an honor. With me tonight, I do have my wife, Julie. I've got 3 children, John, Rachel, and Evie, and 6 and their spouses, and then I have 4 grandchildren here now. So, and they're all 2 to 4 years old. So that's my big family, and they all came to support, so it's pretty special tonight.
That is really awesome. You know, you had a great career playing not only in Bloomington, but on this specific field that we're on today. Do you have some memories or maybe some of the stories you could share from this field in particular?
Probably the biggest thing for me was I only played one game in my senior year. I was a captain of the football team, and the first game we played, I was out here running an option, and the pitch from the quarterback was behind me, and I turned to get it, and I tore my anterior cruciate ligament, and then they pulled me off the field, carried me off the field, and then a little bit later on, I was also the punter, and we ended up down about our 10-yard line, and the coach says, if we get you out on the field, could you punt us out of this end zone? And I said, oh, okay. So one guy under each arm, they brought me down to the other end, and I got the ball, and I kicked it, but you know, right-footed punter, you come down on your left leg, and that's the one that I had no anterior cruciate ligament. I got carried out twice in the same game and never got to play again football here, but I still got my scholarship to the U, so that was pretty special.
Played a lot of football at the University of Minnesota, then went on to Augsburg College. You're in the Hall of Fame at 2 other Hall of Fames. One, of course, is at Augsburg, and the second one is here at Kennedy for the wrestling. What kind of emotions go into that phone call when you get asked, and what are some of the things that you feel when you get that first call saying you're going to be in a Hall of Fame somewhere?
You know, I thought that was like all for major league sports and things like that, and then they call you from the college. I got that one first from Augsburg College, and it was, you know, like I say, my whole career, everything that I did, I did it a lot for my dad. You know, he was really my motivator through all the time. He's passed away, but I dedicated my life to trying to be better so he'd be proud of me. He was until I dropped the scholarship at the University of Minnesota, and then I got one from South Dakota. Joe Salem called me up and said, come down here, we'll give you a free ride. And I went down there, and I couldn't play for a year, but I practiced for a year, and then I was like, no. And my knee was never right, and nobody knew about it until 25 years afterwards. And I've had 2 knee replacements since then, but they're great now. I could go back and play now because now I have no pain in them. But but it was always fun. But when they come back and say, hey, you were really good. At that time when I was playing, it was like, this is fun. This is just all I do, and this is what I like to do. And for me to be honored, it's really something special to me because I just thought I was another one of the players, and I was captain, I did this and that, but that's just something else that you do, another assignment you get. And it was fun playing, and I'd do it all over again. I'd have my kids do it, but.
That's awesome. Well, anyway, congratulations, Don Skoy, class of 1967 from Bloomington Kennedy. Next, we're going to, first of all, thank you so much. Congratulations to you and your family. Second, Chuck Vavrowski. Chuck, congratulations. I think you may be the first member to be inducted into the Hall of Fame that is still coaching, still a part of our great program at Bloomington Kennedy. Chuck is a 1979 grad from Kennedy, state champion in wrestling, and now currently our coach in wrestling here, as well as a lot of involvement at the school. Chuck, tell us, who do you have with us, or who do you have with you here tonight for this great honor?
My mom's here, my wife Gretchen, my 3 kids, Kelton, Kaylin, and Kylie, my oldest sister Mary, my 3rd oldest sister Kitty, my brother Marty, and my youngest sister Julie, her husband, and my 3 nephews.
It's really interesting, Chuck, as you coach kids, you know that you're not coaching them ever thinking that, they're going to work really hard to be able to get in the Hall of Fame someday. You don't coach, you don't play, you don't do anything for these reasons, but all of a sudden it's bestowed upon you someday. What is it like today having this honor put upon you?
Well, a lot like Don said, I did it for, one, the joy of it. 2, I was very competitive, and I hated losing at anything. And so the excitement it brought me, the things I was able to do because of it. I mean, I visit just about every state in the country because of wrestling. And, I hope to repay that to kids, and that's, one of the reasons I coach and still coach and love coaching.
Some of the things that you did in high school, you didn't just wrestle, you did a lot of other things. What were some of the greatest memories you have from Kennedy?
Playing football on Friday nights. It was, there's nothing like coming out and playing football under the lights and the excitement of the crowd and just going out and being competitive and knowing that I could legally go out and hit somebody.
And you know what? And that's where we're at today, of course, right in the middle between the Jefferson-Kennedy football game. Brings back a lot of memories every time you come here. All the times coaching, right?
Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories, and there's things that, if you could do it over again, what would you do? And, I'd definitely be playing football still.
Awesome. Once again, congratulations, class of 2014 Hall of Fame, Chuck Vavrowski, a 1979 graduate from Bloomington Kennedy. Back to you guys up in the booth. We'll take a timeout on BEC, the Station of Champions.
Come here.
I love you, Dad.
We are back. Just started the second half. Battle of Bloomington, Jefferson and Kennedy. The Jaguars lead 35-13 with Jason Springer. I'm Josh Powers. Kennedy received the second half kickoff. It was a good kickoff for Jefferson as it pinned back the Eagles, and now we're going to stop play as the game clock was on the move. So they're going to put some more time back up. Very eventful first half, Jason Springer. Some big swings right at the end of the first half for both teams.
Yeah, lots to talk about. Jefferson started off that half, really sort of put it to Kennedy. He got up by a score of 28-0 just into that second quarter. And then Kennedy came back, got a touchdown, made it 28-6. They were going to drive toward the end of that half, about a minute left, and a pick six, about 88-yard interception return. And what a play by the Kennedy Eagles to go do the 1 minute drive. Really took it downfield, put another 7 on the board. A lot of quarterback play, a lot of rushing, a lot of defense. You saw a lot of really interesting, fun plays in that first half. And best of all for everybody in the stadium, it's still a football game.
A lot in the first half. That was the first touch, actually, that last play for DePriest Eisenberg in the football game. He goes for a yard. A lot of passing in the first half. Matt Fine, 9 out of 19, 124 yards and a touchdown. And Zach Euban, 3 scores on 8 out of 11 for 127 yards. Here's Fine, another deep ball just over the outstretched hands of Bryant again.
They've had that all night, Josh. A really nice, just a straight go route on the far sideline, either one, near or far sideline. And Bryant's just, they haven't quite hit that as many times as you'd like, but they keep trying it because they keep getting open.
On the ground, 7 carries for 49 yards for Simmons, so he was effective at 7 yards a carry. Miles was even more effective. He had 7 carries for 82 yards. So really offensively, nothing really wrong running or throwing for both teams.
So you wonder, well, why is the score so lopsided? And it's because Jefferson finished their drives and made plays on defense, and Kennedy really, for the most part, Kennedy didn't make nearly as many plays.
And 3 turnovers is really the key number on the board. Jefferson now a ridiculous plus 11 in turnover margin through 2.5 games. 4th down upcoming for Kennedy after that incompletion.
And again, just one little, Kennedy was starting to put the drives together toward the end of that first half. And credit the Jaguars for forcing a 3 and out here, but just a little bit of inconsistency on offense.
Here's Neil Walsh. Neil, big return inside the 10. Took advantage of the short kick and the shortest Jefferson Jaguar with the speedy return to set up Jefferson with another short field.
Coach.
First big special teams play tonight,
yeah,
really.
I would say so. Coach Tim Carlson, before that half, told Paul downstairs, it's a 0-0 game, guys. I think we're seeing that. The Jaguars have really come out here in the first minute plus and really playing with a lot of energy.
Well, we talked about Clayton Witt before the break, before Kennedy scored that touchdown. We're going to finish some thoughts on him right now. Clayton Witt, you remember the 6'3", 240-pound lineman. His goals for the season, work hard and play hard. Wants to go to college next year. Again, not sure where yet. He loves the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's a big Cavs guy and a lot to be excited about with LeBron James returning. His advice for younger players, work hard and it will pay off. That's Clayton Witt for Kennedy. That's Colton Miles for Jefferson. He's in the end zone again for the touchdown. That's the second one-play touchdown drive for the Jaguars tonight, and the lead gets larger.
Miles with another touchdown. I believe that's his 3rd of the night, and his first actually on the ground. What a job for a running back, huh? But just that time again, Kennedy or Jefferson up front starting to reestablish themselves, make some plays, and really Miles went in untouched for the most part.
8 carries for 91 yards now for Colton Miles. As Murray, that's his first blemish in the extra point department. Now 5 out of 6. So our new score, 41-13 with 10:47 to go.
I think that halftime came just in time for the Jaguars. What do you think? They went in there, they calmed down from the looks of it, and here in the first minute 13 of the second half, they are right back in control of this football game.
Well, again, that that game of inches, Kennedy's close to hitting another long one to Bryant, and then they have to punt. Kennedy's really has had good field position all game. That was really the first drive that hasn't started out for them on the 35-yard line or so. They started inside their own 20, and the long field, Jefferson takes advantage of the field position for a short touchdown.
Yeah, Kennedy, they kind of caught him that time. They've been kicking to about the 25, 30-yard line every time. This last time they kicked off, they kicked it deep. This could go out of bounds possibly.
Instead, it hits Simmons. He'll pick it up, gets spun around, but now he's trying to get to the open side of the field with some speed. Max Simmons, a long way to run, but he brings Kennedy out to the close to the 35, and they're going to tack on 15 more.
An awful lot of running there by Simmons.
But it paid off.
It did.
Kennedy's going to start near midfield.
And the flag for an unnecessary roughness, it wasn't even touched before he went out of bounds, and the Jaguar defender
15 yards, it'll be first down.
Still tackled him. So, good call there.
But you look at this Kennedy team, Jason, 6 out of their 7 drives in the first half went into Jefferson territory. If you just said that stat alone, you might think Kennedy was the one winning 35-13. But they haven't been able to finish the drives, and Jefferson's got those 3 turnovers.
Well, there's no doubt that this game is it's a blowout on the scoreboard, but it sure hasn't seemed like it if you watch every play. Kennedy again, just a few more mistakes here and there at the wrong times.
And Kennedy close to 200 yards, actually over 200 yards in total offense in the first half. Here's Simmons on the handoff. He's spun around for about a yard.
Well, what we started to see in that second quarter, Josh, was the Kennedy Eagle front or offensive line starting to push the Jaguar defense back a little bit, get some of those running plays and those decent first down gains. That was a better job by the Jaguar defense of forcing a second and long.
Find all sorts of room. He's going to heave it deep middle, and it's caught by Eckerson! Nate Eckerson for the touchdown!
What a catch that was.
55 yards. Eckerson over 100 for the night, and 2 touchdowns, finally getting involved.
Thought actually a Jaguar jumped offside, no flag, but what a roll, what a throw, and I am not sure how he caught that ball. It's like he had to reach around behind the quarterback to pluck that ball out of the air. It was very well covered.
And they're going to whistle it here.
You talk about Eckerson, with what he's shown us tonight, Josh, I don't know how they only got the ball to him one time in the first 2 games.
125 yards on 4 catches and 2 touchdowns for Nate Eckerson.
Just made play after play tonight.
We still have 10 minutes left in the third quarter. We might run out of digits on the scoreboard. It's now 41-20.
This game, again, the scoreboard is telling us one thing, but this game is not over yet, Josh. Kennedy continues to fire punches right back at Jefferson, and I think obviously they wish they could have that first quarterback, but there's a lot of football left to be played here tonight. Both teams have already scored a touchdown in the first 2 minutes of this third quarter.
It is.
Buckle up.
Yeah, it has been explosive tonight, for sure. Matt Fine now, 179 yards on 10 out of 22.
And how many touchdowns? At least 3.
That's his 3rd touchdown.
That's at least, of course. It's 20 points on the board. That's a great offensive
2
performance.
passing. Yep, 2 passing, 1 rushing, of course, for Fine.
It's a really, really nice quarterback performance for Kennedy, and they need that. They need a quarterback to step up and lead this team down the field and take command of that huddle and make sure guys are on the same page offensively on every single play. And tonight, Fine has done that. He's challenged those guys. He's put the ball in the positions that's needed to be, and that's a really good sign for this Kennedy team.
He's also added 34 yards rushing. Deep kickoff, and they will have to bring it out. Neil Walsh, and he's hit and brought down inside the 20. Kennedy's special teams will give Jefferson a long field.
But on that first drive from Jefferson, we saw that offensive line dominate. And we talked about it in the open. Now the key matchup would be those offensive lines against the defensive lines. And Jefferson really won that matchup here on that first drive. So even though they have a long field, Jefferson's offense has things figured out right now. We'll see if they can continue that.
Zach Euban hasn't thrown the ball in a while. 8 out of 11. 3 touchdowns in the first half. Shotgun with Walsh and Miles flanking. And it's Neil Walsh. Lost his footing as he tried to make a cut up field. He'll get a couple. Out to the 19, maybe the 20. Love Neil Walsh. Coach Carlson talks about his heart. You got to have heart when you're about 5'6" and 140. I know that all too well, Jason. But he's got a lot more ability than I ever did at that size, that's for sure.
Amen to that.
Second, and we'll call it 8. And Jefferson has a new quarterback in. As Miles on the give, the new quarterback for Jefferson is Jacob Murray, 6'1", 175-pound junior. That time gave it to Colton Miles, who gets the first down at the 30.
Now Jefferson's starting to assert themselves on the ground. I think they want to try to grind down the clock, try to wear out that Kennedy defense a little bit, see if they can just sort of speed this second half up.
Murray out of the gun, Walsh in motion. Miles, another handoff, and you'd expect that, especially with Murray in there, Jason. In terms of the quarterback, they're going to probably keep the ball on the ground here for the most part, as it's a 2-yard pickup for Miles. And that does beg the question, is there perhaps an injury with Euban? Didn't see anything in the first half.
Yeah, not sure what's going on here, but obviously we hope Euban's okay.
And it hasn't obviously been performance related at all, Jason. That would be the furthest thing.
See him on the sideline over there. I think he's okay. Player down, I believe, for Kennedy is number 53, Ibrahim Jawara. We'll have to double check that. Getting up under his own power. This is good news.
Number 53, Ibrahim Jawara, who is the Eagle. Tended to Ethan Formo from the Institute for Athletic Medicine.
So as Jawara comes off, we'll have a chance to spotlight another senior for Kennedy. And it's number 68, Dylan Goodman. We'll get to him after this play. But he's a 6'1", 320-pound offensive guard, the beef up front for Kennedy. So Murray out of the gun. 4 wide for Jefferson, trying to spread it out. They give it to Miles. Tried to bounce it to the edge and swarmed under by a bunch of Eagles. Maybe a yard, but it'll be 3rd and 7 as we get back to 68 Dylan Goodman. His favorite pregame food, watermelon. Loves to listen to a mixture of rap and rock on game day. His favorite movie, Smoke Signals. His favorite football memory, scoring a touchdown as a running back. That'd be tough to stop with over 300 pounds. Loves to pray on game days before the game. His goals for the season: win on homecoming. He wants to study and play at St. Thomas next year. His advice for young players: also work hard in both the weight room and the classroom. Here's the 3rd and 7 for Kennedy. Murray on the rollout, fires Rasmussen, gets upfield, and he should, well, he's going to be very close. We'll check the spot. I was going to say he should have the first down, but they might mark him short here.
Yeah, he's at least a yard, maybe 2 yards short, Josh. He got out of bounds. And credit the Eagle defense again, stopping them on 1st and 2nd down through the ground, daring the new quarterback, Murray, to try to throw the ball and beat them. Will we see them go for it here? No.
This would be very aggressive, to say the least.
Sure would.
With a 3-touchdown lead.
That first team stayed on the field a really long time.
Second catch, by the way, for Rasmussen, 25 yards. and a touchdown. So 4th down, Eckerson back deep. Kennedy in the fake punt defense, but they do kick it away. Eckerson fair catch at the 34-yard line. So the Eagles, momentum, 7:39 to go, still a long way, 41-20 right now.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. I was waiting this long to say that, but the Kennedy Eagles have some momentum on their side, and if they can keep it going here, move this ball down, score another touchdown, I think we got a game on here at Bloomington Stadium. This is a Battle of Bloomington. Everybody wants this one, and Kennedy has for the most part, they've outscored the Jaguars the last quarter and a half.
They take over in good field position again at the 34-yard line. Jefferson showing blitz. They back off, flag down, another fade route, and not on target this time with Bryant, but I think Jefferson jumped.
Yeah, they let that play go. That's usually a sign of penalties on the defense.
Be the 4th Jefferson penalty if it's the case.
On the offense, illegal formation.
And correction, illegal formation. So instead of the 4th penalty on Jefferson, the 3rd penalty on Kennedy.
They decline it though from the looks of it.
They did, so 2nd and 10, so correction again. Only the 2nd penalty still on Kennedy.
Another fade route being thrown by the Eagles. They're just, it seems at least 1 out of every 3 plays is a toss-up pass from Fine to Murray, or to Bryant.
He's got single coverage again on the near side.
And a definite matchup nightmare for Jefferson.
Here comes the blitz. Screen pass to Simmons, made the first man miss, and he's out of bounds. Almost made him miss. It was actually a good job to hang on by Lorton.
That's
but
thought he got another yard or 2 than that.
They mark him out at the 42, so 3rd and 2. That's the 4th catch for Simmons out of the backfield.
Yeah, that screen pass, when they sell out on that blitz to the near side of the field, Fine is reading that, and they're throwing it right where that blitz is coming from. And really nice play by the Eagle offense, and Simmons doing the best he can to pick up yards.
3rd and 2. These are the critical downs Kennedy's going to need to pick up here in the second half. Fine out of the gun to throw again. Far side, Eisenberg the catch. Shook a tackle, and he's got the first down to the 48-yard line.
He just doesn't go down without a fight, Josh. You see it every time he touches the football. He's juking, he's shaking, he's trying to pick up those extra yards, and most importantly, he protected the football that time. You don't want to see him put it on the ground trying to get another yard or 2.
Look at the Jaguar student section on the far side, Jason, providing some additional light. Part of the ambiance here tonight at Bloomington Stadium.
And how about the Eagles picking up a 3rd down conversion, keeping the drive going?
Might get into Jaguar territory again. Fine, deep drop, deep far side, actually deep middle. Eisenberg way behind the defense, but it's too far.
He had 3 yards of separation, and even a decent throw that time from Fine, and he's walking in for 6, but Fine led him just a little too far.
Definitely one that he will want back.
He's thrown a lot of really nice balls tonight, but that one he wishes he had back.
Yeah, he's thrown many into tight coverage that have had at least a chance, but that one with Eisenberg all alone. Can't connect. They continue to find opportunities deep here. You wonder at a certain point, does Jefferson adjust the defensive strategy? No, they bring everybody on the full house blitz, and that time it works as Fine just has to unload.
Throwing it behind his receiver, away from any sort of intentional grounding penalty, and trusting his receiver will at least take the defender away from the football. But 3rd and 10, we'll see what kind of play the Eagles might have cooked up here. They've been picking these up tonight, Josh, especially in the last quarter and a half. Momentum firmly on the Eagles' sideline right now.
John Anderson sends in the play. 6:56 left in the 3rd. 41-20 Jefferson. game with many big plays so far. And Kennedy's going to take a timeout to talk about it. First timeout for Kennedy.
A little confusion there on offense. Didn't quite get into their formation early enough.
Does give us a chance to talk about Noah Brown, another Kennedy senior. Number 77, 6'1", 235 on the offensive line, a right tackle. Loves to chow down on some Chipotle before the game. Favorite music to listen to, soul music. Loves Game of Thrones, great show. His favorite football memory, pancaking someone and having him get mad and try to cheap shot him. Good memory from Noah Brown. His typical game day, him and his teammates go over to Chipotle and watch some film. His goal for the season, win, win, win. Plans for next year, wants to go to the University of Minnesota to become a chemical engineer. He has a giant turtle named O'Mal, something you may not know about him. And his advice for younger players, work hard and listen to the coaches. Noah Brown, number 77.
We've seen him coming up big, being a definite part of that offensive line, starting to assert themselves up from that right tackle position.
And he'll line up over there here on this third down and 10. Fine out of the gun, they show blitz, and I think Kennedy moved.
They haven't done that much tonight. Credit them for that, but this one's going to hurt. Go from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 15.
Yeah, and again, I don't think you need to pick up all of it here, Jason. If you can pick up half of it, I think it's a definite green light for Kennedy to go for it. I know they're
on the offense.
They'd be about it
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, they've been getting them all night. it's big play after big play.
Right, at some point you need to start taking even more risks than they already have with midway through the third quarter.
I'll save this for these guys. These guys have put on a very entertaining show tonight. A lot of fun to watch this game from both teams.
3rd and 15. Design quarterback keeper. Fine. Close to the marker. He's going to be a couple yards short, but now certainly they can go for it on 4th.
You bet. You're only about 2 yards short. Really nice 13-yard designed run. Kennedy's, if they can rip off those on a consistent basis, that completely changes their offense. It makes them respect, or maybe that even happened because the defense is respecting Matt Fine's ability as a passer. It's just, again, it remakes this Kennedy offense into a completely different sort of monster when you have a quarterback who's a threat to run and pass.
Kennedy 1 of 1 on 4th downs, but this is the biggest one so far. 4th and 2. 5 wide for Kennedy. Fine. Quarterback keeper. He's got all sorts of room. They've lost the football. Jefferson's got it at the 26. 4th turnover of the night. Jefferson takes advantage again.
And that's Fine's second fumble on a 1st down play tonight. In Jaguar territory, no less. That's for as well as he's thrown the ball tonight, you don't want to be putting the ball on the ground when you're picking up 1st downs in the opponent's territory. Really unfortunate. Kennedy again was figuring things out, getting rolling on offense, and then the self-inflicted wound again kills that drive.
Euban is back in an under center for Jefferson. Up 41-20. Colton Miles. This is where you really need your defense again. I know they've asked a lot of the defense at times tonight with the 4 turnovers, but you need them to get another stop here. Miles picks up about 5.
Again, Jaguars would love nothing more than to establish a running game here. Crank out those yards, and even more importantly, wind down that clock. Try not to give the ball back to the Kennedy Eagles, who are moving the ball on offense right now.
Second and 5. Back to the ground game. Miles deep to the second level. Peyton Morales hanging on for dear life. And a big gainer for Miles out to the 46, gain of 15.
And that's how you do it. You get those guys up front to make up some holes for your running back, and you hit those holes with speed. The Jaguars have broken those running plays tonight. Obviously, that's how they've done it.
Colton Miles now over 100 for the night. Under 5 to go, third quarter.
We saw the Jaguars on the first drive of the game running wide, throwing wide. Haven't seen it much since.
Big blitz. They get it away, incomplete. Euban was lucky to get rid of it. He got rocked hard by Brendan Hobbs right as he let it go.
Yeah, Hobbs, the junior, coming right through that line on a really nice defensive end blitz. And again, we talked about it. The Jaguars really haven't worked those corners, haven't worked those sidelines as much in the last quarter and a half. The Kennedy Eagles have really tightened up their defense on the outside.
2nd and 10 at the 46. Drive started at the 26 following a Kennedy turnover. The toss to Miles. Good penetration in the backfield, and Morales will make the stop, but credit to Juan Smith blowing up that play, Jason, from the defensive end spot.
Yeah, that'll go down as maybe a gain of a yard, maybe no gain, but DeJuan Smith really made him run a long way. And actually, I'm sorry, they're going to actually give him a loss of a yard. But, yeah, DeJuan Smith, a really great job, really fighting off a couple blocks, extending that play out, and giving his defense a chance to come over and rally to the football.
3rd and 11 for the Jaguars. Rasmussen this side. And Shepro will line up on the far side. Sweeney in motion. And flags, or at least whistles, don't see a flag yet. And a Jefferson timeout, their first timeout of the second half. That'll stop the clock, 4:38 to go. 41-20 Jefferson. They'll talk about this third down.
Kennedy just keeps on coming, Josh. These guys, a lot of mistakes on the offensive side of the, even Steve, just a lot of mistakes all around, but they are still in this football game. They can get a stop here. I mean, what's to say they couldn't come down and again, cut the lead to 2 scores.
We'll talk quickly about Torrance Gray, another senior spotlight for Kennedy, number 83, 6 foot, 192 pound, plays on the defensive line and tight end. His favorite pregame food, Subway. Loves The Walking Dead, great TV show. Made player of the week last year. That was his favorite football memory. Typical game day, eat Subway and listen to music. Wants to get a scholarship and go to college next year and get at least 8 tackles. Wants to play football for Nebraska or at the U. We'll get back to him after this 3rd and 11. Euban on the rollout. Got Rasmussen behind the defense, and he's got the catch. Out of bounds inside the 20. Huge connection on 3rd and long. Rasmussen gets it in the red zone.
Yeah,
Quickly to finish up Torrance Gray here, Jason. There's something interesting about him you may not
Personal
know. He's a
foul
kind
on
of
the
a chill
defense.
person, but in football
Roughing
he
the
plays
passer.
hard. And his advice for younger players, do off-season training on your own and be willing to play any position. Very good advice from Torrance Gray, number 83.
Jaguars getting an extra 15 for a roughing the passer penalty on Kennedy, and now they're inside the 10. But when the Jaguars have been able to hit that big play tonight, Josh, it's been exactly what they just did. You've been throwing it down the sideline on a go route, really beating those corners who were starting to kind of creep up. Those wide receivers get in behind, and Rasmussen is having himself a big night.
That was a 41-yard pass play to Rasmussen before the penalty. Sweeney in motion. Teddy K is in the backfield. And they want Teddy K. And he's out of bounds. It looked like he might have been inbounds. I think he would have been short anyway. They wanted Kalina, who is a load at fullback. He scored on a 4th down and goal last week, Jason, for one of the Jaguar touchdowns. And at 6'3", 235, he's a good lead blocker also.
Yeah, he's kind of a nice change of pace guy. Hard to bring down, good lead blocker, as you said. good guy to have in there in a goal-to-go situation. Now he checks out.
So 2nd and goal from the 7. Just over 4 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Kevin Lorton, another guy they like to move in once in a while in offense, is now in the offensive backfield. Handoff, Miles following the blocking and right into the end zone. 4th touchdown of the night for Colton Miles. This time 7 yards out.
And another drive by the Jaguars that they just hummed along. They hit some big plays, but they did it methodically. They did it by blocking up front, giving their quarterback time to throw and their running backs holes to run through. And again, credit the Jaguars, starting to extend this game, make it a lot harder for Kennedy, but they just keep on scoring.
It's a 7th touchdown of the night for Jefferson. Murray now 6 out of 7 as that one's good. 48-20 with 4:19 to go. And go back to that turnover, Jason. A couple plays earlier, they have a chance to hit DePriest Eisenberg behind the defense. Would have been a touchdown. You look back on Jefferson's drive, their key play, they connected over the top and found Rasmussen, who was open for that big 3rd down conversion. Again, those little things that have been adding up big for the Jaguars tonight.
Well, it seems like those little things, again, as you said, and they're overwhelmingly in Jefferson's favor. And you know, it's not to say Kennedy hasn't made some really nice plays. They haven't finished some drives. They haven't done a lot of things right, but Jefferson's done more of those things right. And when you keep doing that, those the tallies keep kind of lining up on one side of the scoreboard, then that's how you get down by 28 points. Jefferson has absolutely been the more consistently good team here tonight so far. Still a lot of game left.
I was going to say there's still 4:19 left in this 3rd quarter.
It's 48-20. That's usually a final score. Not here.
Simmons.
I think we're going to see some more points before this one's
That
over.
that'd be a good wager to place. You probably wouldn't get very good odds on that one either out in Vegas. So Simmons, after another short kickoff, good starting field position again. It's been a theme for the night for Kennedy.
Kennedy is going to need probably to score in the 50s to win this game, but scarily enough, I wouldn't put it past them. Give them enough time. They can put up some points. I think we've seen tonight that they're very capable.
They've moved quickly, that is for sure. Five wide again, including Simmons. Now Eisenberg in motion. First time they've done this to get him in space with the football. And DePriest shuffles out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we saw that a lot last week against Cooper, Josh. Trying to run those guys, use that speed, get them on the edge, and maybe try to break some tackles, get some blocking out there. And this one went for about 3-4 yards. Not a bad result on first down.
His only other carry tonight, that was his 2nd carry. That one came from the Wildcat formation when he was lined up shotgun under center. So 2nd and 7. Find to throw. Screen pass again to Simmons. And he's ushered out of bounds at the 49-yard line, so he's just shy of midfield. He does have a first down, though, Jason. His 5th catch of the night, 9 yards, and Kennedy moves the chains again.
Kennedy is running this screenplay really well tonight. This time it's done, again, very well, exactly where the rush is coming from. And by the time Simmons catches the ball, there isn't a Jaguar defender within 10, 15 yards of him. He's able to run downfield and get the first down.
And I like your point, Jason, because it hasn't been a slow developing screen. That thing has been crisp and timed well tonight. Fresh set of downs. Blitz again. They chuck it deep. Eisenberg back for the football. He's got it. First down and more to the 34 as they gain 17 more.
Matt, I wouldn't say that was a great throw, but it worked. Eisenberg was able to make a nice play on the football, come back and catch it. A little bit of a bobble, but most important thing was that he held on to it and he gave the Kennedy Eagles a first down. We talk about quick strikes. They've had the ball a minute. They're already about 30, 40 yards downfield.
Fine, looking deep again. Eisenberg and Eckerson out there, and they want a flag. Eckerson was tackled, but they may have said it was a little bit too far for him. But at that last throw, going back to that last throw from Fine, if you're going to miss short, because you saw what happened. They miss long. They don't get the touchdown on the previous possession. That time he misses short. It's not the best throw, but it gives your receiver a chance to catch it still.
2nd and 10 coming, and we've seen a lot of Matt Fine tonight. Guys putting up some yards.
That was throw number 29 on the night for Fine. Eisenberg in motion. Screen again. Simmons surrounded by 2. Did well to dive down to the 35-yard line right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars were ready for it that time. Now look for Bryant here on the far side of the field or wherever he lines up. You expect he's going to have a good matchup out there. They've done this a lot on 3rd and long, trying to get the ball his direction.
Fine now 15 out of 30 passing for over 200 yards. 2:40 left in the 3rd.
Bryant to the far wide side.
Fine on the rollout corner route, and it is incomplete, out of bounds, so it'll be 4th down.
And they were looking for Bryant on a little deep out. Well defended. And if you're Kennedy, I think you probably have to go for it here.
You've got to. It's 4th and 10, but you're well inside enemy territory and down by 4 touchdowns. They're 2 for 2 on, well, they would have been 2 for 2 on 4th downs. Fine then fumbled the ball after he picked up the 1st down last drive. But the execution has been there in 4th down so far. We'll see what happens on 4th and 10.
Eckerson in single coverage on the near side of the field.
And they want Nate on the deep ball. Too far. Turnover on downs. Jefferson takes over with 2:26 left in the 3rd.
And we've seen on these go routes, they've run them to Eckerson, they run them to Bryant. They've run a lot of these plays tonight. And Fine's just been a little bit long on most of those throws, about a yard or 2 long leading those receivers. And I think they're going to work an awful lot on that in practice next week, so they're a little bit crisper, and maybe they can hit a few more of those next week. It's a good drive from Kennedy, but again, just unable to sustain and finish.
That was the 8th drive tonight in Jefferson territory. They continue to move the football. But down big as Jefferson will try to work on the clock. Euban will hand it off. Around the left side, Neil Walsh still going, the little guy. Into Kennedy territory. 20-yard pickup for Walsh.
Well, you said he had heart earlier. I think we saw it on display this time. Guy takes the ball. You're going to see it here coming right at you. Following his blockers, good blocking up front, but already 1 tackle broken. You see him going, outrunning guys. There's a 2nd tackle he breaks. And finally, Kennedy able to get him onto the ground, but some nice running by Walsh.
In Kennedy territory, the quick bubble screen to Shepro. And he's got speed with a 1st down out of bounds at the 36. First catch in a while for Shepro, but he did a nice job to turn upfield quickly.
Yeah, this is how you want to do it. Throw that ball just a little bit forward, so it's an actual pass attempt. Catch it, run, all fluid. Really nicely executed play by the Jaguars, and we keep saying they want to work on the clock. I think they really do, but they're biting off some big yardage chunks here and moving the ball down the field fast.
And, of course, in the high school game, the clock stops till the next play when you go out of bounds, unlike college and pro where they wind it till the final couple minutes. Euban pulls it back, screen pass, wide open Jaguar. Colton Miles down the sideline. A flag is down as he's into the end zone, but it might come back.
Yeah, those 2 flags that are down are right in the neighborhood of offensive holding. We'll see what the calls are.
We'll check it. It might be his 5th touchdown of the night, but probably not.
An Eagle down on the field. Peyton Morales, after the play, went down on the field.
Number 7, Peyton Morales. Maybe 10-2 by
Very similar to that wheel route that Miles ran back in the first half for a touchdown, Jason.
Block in the back. On the play. 10-yard penalty.
And you
It'll
can
be first down.
see the official there. Block in the back is the call, so that will come back. Probably back to around the original line of scrimmage. But right now checking on Peyton Morales.
Spot fouls, of course, so they say it's still first down. They actually probably moved the ball back a yard or so. But yes, play is stopped for the time being. Morales is down around the 10-yard line. Now he's up. Good to see.
They definitely need him back there, Jason. He's one of their key guys. Back in the secondary, makes a lot of plays. So it'll be first and call it 11 back at the 36 for Jefferson. Now they slide it back one to the 37. Penalty number 3 now on the Jaguars. 4 for Kennedy. Correction, 4 now for both. And Neil Walsh will get another carry. And brought down after a gain of about 5. Walsh had a long touchdown earlier this year, game number 1. Just able to escape the reach of DeAndre Brown.
That's that speed of Walsh you saw that time that was just barely able to get him outside. Kennedy actually did a pretty good job blowing that play up to only allow him to get 2-3 yards.
6 carries and 61 yards tonight for Neil Walsh. Remember, he had that 36-yarder on the first play from the scrimmage. 2nd and 7. Eubin this side, incomplete. Good coverage that time by Kennedy, and that was 85. DeJuan Smith again, the big man getting out there and covering this bubble screen.
Yeah, really this time, though, the thing that maybe stopped the Jaguars more than anything was that snap. Took Eubin a little bit of extra time to catch, got him a little bit out of his rhythm, and the throw was a little bit off target.
Grant Johnson was very close to getting a finger on it and half step away from taking that one back the other way. 3rd and 8. Could be 4-down territory. Eubin sets up, fires, got the first down, right on target as he hits John Carlson for the first.
And this is a play we've seen before. Eubin rolling to his left. Carlson, number 14, right in your screen. Just a nice throw and catch. Carlson runs just past those sticks, comes back for the football, and secures it.
Under a minute now for the 3rd quarter. 3rd catch for Carlson tonight.
Jaguars just keep converting, keep executing, and that's what you want to see from them.
High snap, Eubin's got it with a one-handed pickup, and look at Miles break the tackle of Brown, and he gets to the 2nd level. Down to the 17-yard line, he'll get 6 on the pickup. His 15th carry of the night.
16-yard line, 2nd down.
Another injured Eagle.
It's been a lot of snaps in this game, Jason.
Yeah.
That's Dante Davis-Barber, number 28. Kennedy's thrown 32 passes. Jefferson's thrown 20. Then you've got all the ground attempts. With all the incompletions out of bounds, has been a high number of play games so far. We're going to do a couple more senior spotlights for Kennedy. First up, Arnold Nyata, number 79, on the offensive and defensive line, 5'11", 225. He's the nose guard. His favorite pregame food, rice with a variety of side dishes. Mix it up a little bit. Anything with good beat or speeches even he'll listen to on game days. His favorite TV show is Dexter. His favorite football memory, forcing a fumble in every game freshman season. That's pretty impressive. We'll get back to Mr. Nyata after this play on a 2nd down and 5. Fake it to Walsh, wide open. Colton Miles slips as he tried to cut at about the 6-yard line, maybe the 7, but he's got the first down and a gain of 10 more. Back to Arnold Nyata. His goals for the season: help the team get to the state tournament. He wants to get at least 2 sacks and 50 tackles. Wants to go to college, not sure yet where, as the 3rd quarter is going to come to an end. Hopefully play football. And he only started playing football in 8th grade, so he's accelerated quickly in the game. And his advice for younger players: get in that weight room. It's your best friend. See, almost all the Kennedy Eagles telling the younger players, get in the weight room, work hard. Pretty much every player has said that. End of 3 at Bloomington Stadium in the Battle of Bloomington. 48-20. Jefferson on top. Mark Holmgren on the sidelines. Mark?
We're down here on the field with the Bloomington Colleens, and we have girls from both Bloomington Kennedy and Bloomington Jefferson. We're going to let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to ask a few questions.
Okay, I'm Shyla Wodarski. I'm in 12th grade, and I go to Bloomington Jefferson. I'm Ashley Loom, and I'm a senior at Jefferson.
I'm Latia Lee, and I'm a senior at Kennedy.
I'm Alexis Harrison. I'm a senior at Kennedy.
You know, the Colleens, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but they work so hard. They work not only all summer, but they work year-round to stay in shape. What we're going to do is we're going to have each one of them give a special moment of something that they did this summer to make sure they were ready for this season.
Well, we practiced on the turf, and we did kicks and turns and jumps, just so we were ready to perform for the football team and all the people in the stands.
Yeah, we ran like a mile every week, so it was fun to prepare us, yeah.
What are some of the other things you guys do in the off season, and what are some of the maybe fundraisers or fun things you guys do as a team to get ready for this?
I mean, a lot of us do dance outside of dance team to get ready for it, and we do a lot of fundraising like car washes and whatnot.
Awesome.
During the summer a lot, we go to a dance camp in Brainerd, and it's super fun. You dance for like 12 hours a day for 4 days in a row, and you learn 3 different dances, and you meet girls from all over the state. It's it was probably the highlight of my summer, so.
Awesome. You know what? Kennedy Colleens been around. Bloomington Jefferson Colleens. They are a co-team now with both schools from the Bloomington community. It's great to have them here. We're going to send it back up to the booth for the 4th quarter of Bloomington football on BEC.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Great to hear from the Bloomington Colleens, and you said it, they work so hard during the year. Often goes unnoticed. I'm glad you're able to share that today. Colton Miles into the end zone again for his 5th touchdown. And that one probably the easiest, Jason. He was a lot of green in there for just a 1-yard carry. Look at the blocking up front, 74 and 70. Bradley Mold, Christian Duvick.
It might have been his 5th. I've lost
You
count.
might have been able to score from a yard out of that one, Jason.
Sure. That was
Ryan
incredibly
Murray
well
for the
blocked.
extra point attempt.
Miles, he's threatening to get his name in the paper tomorrow.
Murray's been busy. High snap, good hold. The kick would have been good, but flags.
Yeah, Jefferson
Dead ball.
again. Just
Start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the untimed down.
And the holder, by the way, Eric Rasmussen, Coach Carlson called him out in a good way on Inside Jefferson Football on a field goal Murray drilled last week. Low snap, he got it down and made it possible for the kick. That time the high snap, Rasmussen, very good hands, obviously, as we see his duties as a wide receiver. Able to get both of them. That one a perfect snap from Noah Ciro, and the kick is good.
Murray's extra point attempt is good.
all Jefferson does is continue to continue to execute. They gave up 1 touchdown to Kennedy in this half, but really that halftime break was good for them. They were able to go in, collect themselves, sort of get their momentum and their swagger back a little bit, and now they've outscored the Eagles 20-7 in this half.
17 carries and 137 yards tonight for Colton Miles.
Yikes. That's a lot of work. He'll sleep well tonight.
He's also added those 2 catches out of the backfield. So 55-20 with just over 11 minutes to go. 75 points on the board tonight. Scoreboard operator's been busy.
And I'm still not sure we're done.
Well, you would have cashed in on that bet, although, like I said earlier, I don't think it would have been for much. Simmons, again, they've been kicking his way. Jefferson, obviously, they know about Eisenberg. They know about Eckerson. Simmons is pretty good, too, but that's like the lesser of all of the evils, according to Jefferson. They continue to kick it his way, and he brings it out to the 35, 40-yard line every time, but Jefferson's been willing to live with that tonight.
Yeah, more reps for this Eagle offense now. You're down 35. The game may be out of hand, but these guys still have been putting up some yards. And really, if you're Kennedy, what you want to see is them continue to string together plays and finish drives. You eliminate those mistakes that kill you.
Eckerson in motion this time. The fake handoff. All day for Fine. Double coverage. Intercepted. Picked off by the Jaguars. I think it's number 3, Daniel Tobin. It is.
Nice job by the Jaguars that time in coverage. Dropping 2. You know Kennedy's probably going to throw the football, so you cover them tightly with a corner, you roll a safety on top, and it was just a nice play. Fine had really nowhere to throw that football, but he tried to force it in there, and the Jaguars and Tobin made a nice play.
Jefferson now unbelievably plus 13 in turnovers. Not sure another team in the state is plus 13 after 3 games at any of the levels.
Well, you're plus 13. It's like we said earlier. If you can turn over the other team and actually win the turnover battle by 4 a game,
I think your odds are like, they've done the research on it. I think the odds are like 95% if you're like plus 4, and about 80% or more if you're plus 3. Jefferson is averaging about that each game so far.
It's been incredibly impressive.
And Neil Walsh trying to scoot through the right side, brought down right at the line. So the clock will go under 10 minutes now. Good flow to the football here from Kennedy.
DeJuan Smith, you see,
called his name
inside.
Called his name a bunch tonight.
Yeah, he's a real athlete, 6'1", 210, but good speed for his size, good strength. Puts himself in the right position a lot of the time.
They give Walsh a gain of 1, so second down, ball loose. Picked up by the Jaguars, but this will be a loss of 1. Alertly picked up by 44 Sam Zayed after the botch snap. And by the way, do want to mention that Murray is back in under center for Euban, so his night probably done.
And Peyton Morales going down again toward the near sideline. Not sure what, it's the second time he's been shaken up here this quarter, and something clearly bothering him. Wow, you said it earlier, Josh, just a great night here at Bloomington Stadium. It's weather has been fantastic. It's a really nice crowd here tonight. People here in the fourth quarter in a 35-point game, still bringing it with energy.
Absolutely, on both sides. That's been good to see. So we'll keep our eye on Morales again, a number of these Kennedy players will play both ways, and their defense has been out there for a lot of snaps tonight. Jefferson, by the way, looking ahead to next week, they're on the road again for their third straight game, at least as the visiting team. But they're at Richfield, a Richfield team that has struggled. They struggled last year. They've struggled so far this season. Again, you don't want to look too far ahead, but very strong possibility Jefferson can keep this thing going and enter that second half of the season still perfect.
Well,
but then it gets tough, Jason. You
look at their schedule. Yeah, at Richfield, that's a game that on paper you're going to have a chance to win. Then you're here against Chaska, another winnable football game. How about that? You know, if it's you could be 5-0. I mean, it's getting ahead of yourself a little bit, but the schedule sets up nice. And then you've got on October 2nd a Thursday night, not even a matinee, but a Thursday night game here against Robbinsdale Cooper. That we'll have that one on BEC-TV, and boy, that would sure be an exciting one if the Jaguars were 5-0.
Murray on the fake slings it too high, but just you get past
4-0 or 4-1 or
right. You get past Richfield next week, and you're 4-0 with a 3-game homestand upcoming. Talk about the possibilities for this Jefferson Jaguar club.
Yeah, it's a possibility here. The schedule sets up very nice for them, and you can keep rattling off some victories. You're going to put yourself in a really good position to make a run.
Coach Carlson, of course, will not let the team watch the last 2 minutes of this game film to avoid all of the talk about future games. He wants one game at a time. Will be 4th and 9 for the Jaguars. They will punt with just over 8 minutes to go.
Well, good for Coach Carlson, though. I mean, he took it upon himself at the end of that first half. And he told Paul to, get his players focused. They clearly came out here in the second half. They were ready to play and ready to put in the energy and the effort, and they've won this second half. And here they are continuing to play well, and I have a hunch he'll have these guys focused and ready to play every game.
One of them numbers.
We were going to possibly spotlight Sean Van Sloan, who made that unbelievable catch back in the first half, but he has been taken to the locker room. So we're going to save that senior spotlight for an upcoming game for Kennedy. And hopefully when he's back, but that was a tremendous catch back in the first half. Here's a run again for Matt Fine, dragging a tackler past midfield. Continuing to play hard. Junior quarterback for Kennedy.
Yeah, just to make sure everyone at home watching and listening to us understands, Kennedy being the home team tonight, that is the team we are featuring with our senior spotlight. So we'll get to the Jefferson seniors as well.
Correct.
When they are featured, when they are the home team here at Bloomington Stadium, that's when they'll get their turn.
We'll spotlight all the seniors from both teams, as we have done for the last number of years on BEC-TV, at least 5. Continue that tradition. 7:10 left. Empty backfield for Fine. The blitz is on, and they get to him. It's actually a rare sack. Considering all of the blitzing tonight, they haven't actually tackled Fine very often. He's either avoided a sack or gotten rid of the football quickly, but that time can't do either.
Yeah, the line is held up pretty well. Fine's been able to be elusive, and quite frankly, they've had a lot of well-timed, well-called screenplays on tonight, but that time there was nowhere to go, and Fine just does the right thing and tucks it in and makes sure he just gets down without any further bad things happening.
Loss of 7. DePriest gets it on the end around, got the corner, has a seam. Eisenberg, open field, out of bounds with a first down with a flag down. Might be a hold.
Yeah, it was a really nice run by Eisenberg. It was well set up and maybe in the neighborhood of a hold. Yep.
Penalty number 5 for Kennedy. And again, this one will bring it back right about where the line of scrimmage is.
10 yards from the spot.
Well, again, it's really hurts, Josh, because you go from a second and very long to 1st and 10, and you'll see it here, maybe, not quite. He didn't quite see where that flag, oh, there it was at the end of that play. Held onto the jersey just a little too long. But it really hurts because you go from a 1st and 10 situation where you're rolling back to, again, a 2nd and 10 situation. And again, another one of those unforced errors, self-inflicted wounds that have really put Kennedy behind here tonight.
Midway through the 4th quarter now, 55-20. And John Anderson will burn timeout number 2. Just under midway through this 4th quarter. We've talked about the Jefferson upcoming schedule. Let's talk about Kennedy, Jason. They've got another home game next week. Bring up their schedule here. But, you know, they've already played Cooper and some other teams on the schedule, but they still have some challenging games as well coming up on their slate. We'll try to get you that upcoming schedule for Kennedy later as we look at Jefferson, that big student section again. But we'll see Kennedy again next week on BEC-TV. That's a Friday night start on Channel 15. And again, if you have not been watching BEC-TV all throughout the year, we do have the visiting teams, or the away teams games. So next week it'll be Jefferson live on Channel 14 on BEC-TV. So you can watch both Jefferson and Kennedy live on BEC-TV this year. Then, of course, when Kennedy's on the road, we'll be out there following the Eagles the back half of the year, especially with that 3-game road trip coming up for Kennedy.
Well, one of those keys for the Kennedy offense tonight was to get Eckerson involved, and I would say they did that pretty well. You saw him right there catch that football, try to make some plus plays, find keeping it, throwing it over to Eckerson, who was able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. He's put up a big night, though.
3rd down now for Kennedy. Deep ball, Eckerson. Not this time. It'll be 4th down.
Morgan Webb, the cornerback, really good position on this ball. Just runs him right down, stays to the inside of Eckerson. Nowhere to throw that football into.
Here's the Kennedy schedule. So next week, Benilde at home, as you see that incompletion on 3rd down. Then the 3-game road trip. Richfield, Chanhassen, and Chaska. Then they finish the season at home against St. Louis Park, the opponent.
Well, it's again a schedule that for them. Benilde, never an easy opponent. At Richfield, at Chanhassen, at Chaska. I mean, a tough 3-game road stretch, but this team is starting to play better. We've seen them make some serious progress tonight,
Absolutely.
Josh.
Especially offensively. That offense has looked so much better this week. Fine, now 4th down. The throw incomplete. Had his man open. Would have been a 1st down to Bryan, but just outstretched, and he couldn't quite get it. So Jefferson will take over with 3:52 to go.
Yeah, a lot of progress from these guys. You see Fine on the run, just a little bit too much on that throw. But, I mean, again, these guys keep improving at the rate they have been, and I don't see any reason why they can't be right in those games, maybe pull a win or 2 or even 3 out on the road and get back into the conference race.
Well, they haven't made the special teams and mental mistakes that we've seen from them the last few weeks, Jason. The problem today has just been the turnovers.
And the poorly timed penalties, and they've made some poorly timed mistakes, but they've done an awful lot right here tonight too.
Here's a 1st down run. So some of the Jaguars' 2nd unit is in there now for perhaps their final possession.
Maybe most encouraging tonight from Kennedy that I can see is they've really they've got a quarterback now. That Matt Fine has really sort of found his footing in that pocket, really delivered some nice balls, made some decent decisions, and he's just got to protect the football now. Keep from putting it on the ground, keep from throwing those interceptions, avoid those mistakes.
2nd and 5. And they hand it off, and they don't hand it off well. It's loose. Kennedy might have it. They do.
There is a fumble on the play recovered by the Kennedy Eagles.
First turnover of the night for the Jaguars.
Oh, shucks. They're only plus 12 on the season now in turnover margin.
Sabo with the recovery.
Something they will work on in practice, that handoff exchange.
Jeremy Hendricks and quarterback Jacob Murray not quite able to connect. Sabo the recovery. 2.5 to go.
Colin Murdoch into the game for the Eagles at quarterback.
And Chance Wynn, the deep back behind Joe Tim. And here's Chance. And he's been taking advantages of his chances this year. He was Kennedy's leading rusher coming into tonight. And it's been mainly in duties such as this, Jason, later in games. Been overtaken by Simmons tonight, but you see what he can provide to the table. It's a big guy to bring down late in the fourth quarter.
A Jaguar on the ground. Looks like Charles Sweeney, number 12.
Jaguar is number 12. Charlie Sweeney.
Listed as a tight end, but playing on defense.
Had a catch earlier tonight.
Minute 52 on the game clock, of minute 53 on your clock at home, and a chance for us to kind of catch our breath. It's, wow, what a night it's been here at Bloomington Stadium, Josh. I don't think we expected 75 points and really fireworks on both sidelines.
Yeah, over 400 yards of passing offense combined. I think that's the number that's most surprising to me tonight.
Again, I think both teams with a lot to go forward with and feel pretty good about. I think Kennedy definitely has shown some improvement. And how about Jefferson? I mean, you go on the road last week, get an 18-6 win at Coon Rapids, a team that's really starting to piece things together a little bit, and obviously going to play it pretty tough. And then you come back here and you put up 55 in the Battle of Bloomington. I think if you're in the Jefferson locker room right now, you're feeling really good about your football team. 2
more road wins. This one does count as a road win for Jefferson. That's 4 now in the last 2 years on the road for Coach Carlson's team. And they will enter next week still unbeaten at 3-0.
And some people will look at their schedule, they'll look at their opposition, they'll say, yeah, well, who'd you beat? And I don't think anybody can. I don't think the Jaguars are thinking like that. I mean, they've played 3 very good football games. They're plus 12 in turnover margin. They're doing a lot of little things right, Josh, and they're winning these games in pretty convincing fashion. And yeah, they're 3-0. Yeah, they've played some teams that haven't won a lot of games in recent years, but they're still winning the football games and winning them convincingly, and that's all you can really do if you're the Jaguars. They're executing well. They're obviously well coached, and it's going to be really exciting to see how this Jaguar team progresses through the season. And you know, again, that 3-game home stretch later in the seasons, they have a chance to rip off some wins and really be competitive in this conference.
Yeah, and that would give them a leg up come playoff time for sure when you start talking about rankings in the section and seeding. Certainly everybody will get a chance in the playoffs, but you know, typically the higher seeded the better. So Jefferson's working toward in the regular season. Here's Chance Wynn again, exploring the second level, very close to the first down.
And obviously the last thing that either coach wants right now is more kids to be injured. You want to just get through this game and the outcome really not in doubt any longer, and you don't want to see guys on the ground getting hurt. You just kind of want to move this game along, kill that clock, and get into next week.
Try to catch up with either Coach Carlson or Coach Anderson after the game. Our Paul Fournier will be down there. Final minute Jaguar students, they've stayed till the end tonight.
They got to like their team, Josh. I mean, Jaguars have been up and down in the last 10, 15 years. They had some really good years and some not so good years, and this is one of those years that is showing an awful lot of promise right now.
They won't have much farther to go north next week, just across 494 to Richfield High School on the road. That pass incomplete on 4th down. They will turn it over on down. So one more snap for the Jaguars here with 18 seconds left.
Expected to be a pretty simple running play or take a knee or something pretty easy.
Stick around too, Jason. I will have some final thoughts and get you ready for next week's game. Kennedy at home again to take on Benilde. And of course, you can tune in on Tuesday night and throughout the week. Inside Jefferson football, inside Kennedy football at 8 and 8:30 on Tuesday. Replayed throughout the week. Weekly look inside both football programs and the culture. Exclusive interviews. Break down some game footage. Very entertaining show. And keep mentioning to both coaches, you know, off camera, what great kids they have. And you see that every week with the kids that they bring to the program. Jason and, well, actually, Brian and I will be back next Friday night. Brian got married recently. Brian Hawks will be back here to join us.
Congratulations.
Poor decision on his part, but congratulations nonetheless. This one in the books, Jefferson. 2 years in a row now, the Battle of Bloomington champions. 55-20 the final. In an exciting game filled with many big plays. A lot of those plays, swing plays, Jason, that really tilted the momentum, most of them in favor of Jefferson tonight. The Jaguars now 3-0.
Yeah, you said it. It was an exciting night. We saw a lot of athleticism. We saw a lot of effort. Both of these teams very clearly wanted to come away with the victory here tonight. And I like how both teams are improving. Both teams really are getting better week to week. You know, seeing Kennedy last week and seeing Kennedy tonight, wow, they looked a lot better tonight.
They did.
And Jefferson, I think we're going to be, I can't wait to see this team in another couple weeks when they have Chaska here and then Cooper the week after. It's going to be a lot of fun to be back here. And these guys, both of these teams, I think, have a lot to look forward to left this season.
They still have a game in between, but if Jefferson's unbeaten back half of the schedule in 2 weeks at home right here on BEC-TV against a team that very nearly played for the state title last year, that would be a big-time matchup against Chaska in a couple of weeks. And again, you can watch Jefferson live next week at Richfield. That's a 7 o'clock start on Channel 14. We'll have the Eagles here live on Channel 15 against Benilde St. Margaret. But focusing on Kennedy here now, they're 0-3, Jason, but we continue to see them get better. This week, the leap was offensively, and I thought the special teams was much better as well this week.
Yeah, they really, in terms of kick coverage, kicking off, I mean, the extra point conversion, all those little things were really done much better. It wasn't the special teams that got them at all. Last week, Cooper just gashed them, return after return after return, and this week they really covered kicks well and did the little things on special teams. And again, we saw that offense become much more balanced tonight, which we hadn't seen much of a passing game from them in the first couple of games. Tonight, they really started to move the ball through the air. It took a lot of pressure off their running game, so they were able to hit some plays, hit some screen passes, do those little things to sort of relieve the pressure and get Matt Fine comfortable in that pocket. I really liked seeing that. The defense, opportunistic a little bit, but again, this Kennedy team just needs to continue to work on the fundamentals of football, holding on, not taking penalties, doing those little things that add up to sustaining drives and putting points on the board.
Jefferson, their defense, opportunistic once again, forcing 5 turnovers. Several of them when Kennedy was driving in their own territory. And, of course, the big play of the game, Jason. Looks like Kennedy's going to take it within a couple touchdowns. And you get Kevin Lorton, the senior, with the pick 6. about a 90-yard return. That was, if you, in a game with so many big plays, if you want to just look at one of them, that was the one that stood out to me that was probably the most important.
We saw a lot of really, really impressive plays tonight. A lot of nice pass completions down the field, tough individual runs, but yes, I would say that was the key play of the game, the turning point. Kennedy, I think if they can get into that locker room 2 scores down after the first half and the first quarter they played, who knows how this game might turn out. But Lorton picks that off, runs it 88 yards for a touchdown, and really 35 points before the half. It was too much to overcome for Kennedy.
Down to Paul Fournier with head coach John Anderson.
Thanks, guys. Coach Anderson, another tough loss again, but you guys put up a pretty good fight. Talk about your team's performance.
Yeah, we played hard. Our guys got after it. You saw glimpses of what we're capable at times. When we play the way we can play, we can score, and we're a high-flying team. We just made too many mistakes, and especially too early. Defensively, we weren't covering the guys we had to, and laid the big plays. The Jaguars and Coach Carlson, my hat's off to them. He's got a great squad. They just marched down and scored, marched down and scored. We got ourselves a first down. We felt good about moving the chains. Before we know we had the ball more than 5 plays, it's all of a sudden it's 14-0. We cannot put ourselves in those holes. And like I said, that's all them. We made some mistakes, but they're a heck of a team, so they're doing a good job.
Now, we've seen a lot of glimpses of your second squad out here towards the end of the games. They've put up a lot of some good numbers for you and showed a lot of positivity. Are we going to see any of those guys possibly play in the upcoming weeks as a starter?
That's possible. They got to go out and perform in practice, and that's always the key number one thing that we look for. Is those guys going out and performing in practice. All I ask is our guys when they're called upon to give us 100%. Effort and attitude. That's all we preach constantly, and those guys do it. They bought in even for those number 2s.
All right, Coach. Good luck tonight. Good luck next week against Benilde.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
Back to you guys.
All right, Paul. Thanks a lot, and Coach Anderson pretty much echoing what we were saying, Jason. Just a few too many mistakes in a team like Jefferson. You saw what they can do. They took advantage of them tonight. But for certainly, Jason, we through the first 2 weeks, where is the passing game? Can we get guys like Eckerson and DePriest Eisenberg involved? And they did that tonight, and that's huge for this team going forward.
Yeah, I've even heard the questions, well, how about that coaching staff? Well, clearly you just heard it, right? The guy knows how to coach a football team. I think we've seen him really progress this team, really teach them the finer points of the game of football, and they have a lot of learning to do. They have a lot of things left to learn, but this is a team that's come an awful long way in a couple weeks, and I'm looking very much forward to seeing how they stack up in the next few weeks.
Be very interesting to see it again next week. Home at Benilde. You can watch that game on Channel 15 live, 7 o'clock start on BEC-TV. Paul Fournier's tracked down head coach Tim Carlson. Paul?
Thanks, guys. Now, Coach Carlson, it's another year, another win in the Battle of Bloomington. What does this do to your team?
You know what? It's an exciting night. The 3-0 is a great start. The way we played, for the most part, was good. But again, it's a section win. It's a conference win. It's one more step to meeting our goals of winning that conference championship. But again, it's a lot of fun. Hats off to the Kennedy team that just did not quit. I think I said it in the show earlier this week. They're going to find ways to get their playmakers the ball. They added the zone read this week, and they did a great job of running it. So hats off to them for a great night as well.
Now, it was a bit cooler of a night that we haven't seen yet this year. Did that cause any injuries for your team that might cause problems later down the road?
We stayed fine until right at the end when Charlie Sweeney got hurt, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens there.
All right, Coach, you take on Richfield next week at Richfield. What's the game plan looking like for that?
Oh, let me enjoy this one first of all. Richfield's going to be another tough battle. Again, the nice thing about this conference is it's tough football every week, but it's going to be competitive. To be honest with you, I haven't watched much Richfield. Going with Kennedy week, I haven't watched too much, but I know they're going to be tough, and we got to be ready.
All right, at the end of the game, I saw your players and your team go celebrate with their student fans. What did you say to the team and the fans after the game?
Well, I told them I was proud of them for the way they played, and they hung with it. We knew Kennedy's going to bring their best, and they did. And our kids, we prepared for it. We stayed in this fight, and we finished the fight, and that's what I was probably most proud of. Is every time Kennedy fought back, we answered.
All right, Coach, I'll let you go enjoy this victory.
Thank you.
Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Hello?
As Jefferson wins the Battle of Bloomington. As once again, we're live with you on BEC-TV. On the top, on the tower, Josh Powers, Jason Springer, and 55 points on the board for Jefferson. That's a lot for Coach Carr. He said he wanted to enjoy it. That's a lot to enjoy, especially on offense.
Well, the thing I was just most impressed with the Jaguars is they're a pretty balanced team. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball. They're a lot more opportunistic on defense than I think they get credit for, and they just execute in all phases of the game. And we saw that tonight, even in special teams. They really had a game plan tonight, and then they executed on it. They really did a nice job. And again, this is a 3-0 team, and they've won these games convincingly. And now as they head into the meat of the Metro West Conference schedule, they're in a great position to challenge.
And it does get meaty down the stretch in those last 4 games for sure. But similarly to Kennedy, Jefferson hadn't shown a lot through the air in their first 2 games, but we saw a lot from Zach Euban in the first half. 8 out of 11, 124 yards, 3 big touchdowns in the first half. He really came alive today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The guy was accurate. And he throws a nice ball, and he was finding the receivers exactly where they were, and that's what you want to see. Now, credit the offensive line for that, too. He had a lot of clean pockets to throw from tonight. The running game was taking some pressure off as well, but as receivers got open, they challenged those defensive backs from Kennedy. They're able to make those plays. They're obviously well in sync in practice. They've been able to work on those little timing things, but really this team was able to put it together through the air, and that allowed them to run the football really well later in the game.
I think the one thing Jefferson probably needs to work on as we take a look at some of the highlights here from the first half is that defense. Kennedy's got some good go guys, and they got some yards tonight, and I'm sure Jefferson wants to clean that up. But early here, Jefferson clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you saw a really nice design play there, a nice touchdown pass to Rasmussen. That was early in the second quarter, one of those big plays to kind of take control of the football game. Another one to Carlson here. That made it 27-0 with the extra point later. Fine with his first touchdown of the night, running the football. This is the play of the game we talked about a few minutes ago. Kennedy driving toward the end of that first half, and there's Lorton running 88 yards for a pick 6. That made it 35-6. Kennedy scoring before the end of the half. And here was that play. A nice throw and catch to Eckerson. And we heard the coaches talking about that. That was really a big play for Kennedy. You saw them get down the field in 1 minute. But then it was the second half. Jefferson starting to really kind of grind it out. You saw them score there. A really nice throw and catch here. Eckerson somehow finding that football and scoring, cutting the lead really to 3 scores. And Fine, though, put the ball on the ground a couple times tonight. Jefferson again forcing 5 turnovers tonight. You just can't say enough about that defense, and that led to these other opportunities. Miles, what a game he had. And you'll hear I'm sure you'll be reading about that tomorrow. And they just sort of salted it away late. But Jaguars, again, you saw throughout those highlights, the Jaguars were making play after play after play after play after play. We really didn't have to see too many of their mistakes from them tonight, really in any of the phases of the game, and that's why they were won by 35.
And again, Jefferson taking on Richfield on the road. Again, you can watch the game on Channel 14 live next Friday night. And we'll see Kennedy back here again next week. Benilde, tough team again, Jason, but Kennedy has a chance to keep improving.
Well, this isn't your father's or your brother's Benilde team. They're a little bit not quite where they've been in recent years, and you know, if you're Kennedy again, you're improving. You're improving a lot, real rapidly, real fast, and if they can tighten up some of those little things, if they can play consistent, finish drives, maybe force a few turnovers here and there, you know, hey, why not? Really like their chances here against a Red Knights team that they're going to be hungry, they're going to be ready to play, but I like the direction this Kennedy program is heading.
You can see that game live here next Friday night, Channel 15 on BEC-TV. And remember, Inside Jefferson football, Inside Kennedy football, Tuesday night, 8 and 8:30, the premieres. They'll run all week. The Battle of Bloomington is over here tonight from Bloomington Stadium. Jefferson moves to 3-0. 55-20, the final for our entire crew. Mark Holcren, Paul Fournier, Jason Springer. I'm Josh Powers. Good night from Bloomington Stadium.